My child, stop scrolling. This is not just another video, and these are not just another 2 minutes. If you found this message, you need to hear me carefully, because something is closing, something is opening, and you are standing at the exact point where hesitation could cost you what heaven has already placed in front of you. You are not here by accident. You are here because the door is near, the line has moved, and your name is being called. So stay with me until the very end. Don't skip, don't drift, don't let distraction steal this moment, because what you hear next may expose what has delayed you, reveal what is about to break open, and show you why these final moments matter more than you realize. Listen closely, because by the time this message is over, you will know exactly whether you are about to step through or walk away from the very thing you prayed for. My child, come closer and stay with me for this moment, because you did not stop here by accident, and you are not reading these words because chance happened to place them in front of your eyes. You may think you were simply moving through your day, scrolling, searching, trying to quiet your mind for a few seconds, but I need you to understand something deeper than what your natural eyes can see. I brought you here. I allowed this moment to rise up in front of you because I have been watching the weight you have been carrying, and I know how easy it would have been for you to miss what I am trying to say. You have been moving through life with more pressure than you have admitted, even to yourself. You have learned how to keep going while your heart is tired. You have learned how to smile while something inside you feels unsettled. You have learned how to keep conversations shallow because you do not always have the strength to explain what is happening inside of you. But I have seen it all. I have seen the way your thoughts race when the room gets quiet. I have seen how you replay moments that wounded you. I have seen how you wonder whether you are still on the right path, whether the things you prayed for are still possible, whether the silence around you means I have stepped back. I have not stepped back. I have been closer than you know, and this very pause you felt, this small moment where something in you said, "Do not move yet, stay here," was not your imagination. That was me pressing gently on your spirit because I know how many distractions have been pulling at you lately. I know how often you have been surrounded by noise, by responsibilities, by other people's needs, by expectations that leave little room for you to hear the deeper things stirring inside your soul. So I interrupted your movement. I reached into your ordinary moment because I love you too much to let you drift past a word that was meant to find you. There are moments in your life that look small from the outside but carry real spiritual weight, and this is one of them. It may not look dramatic. It may not feel like the heavens opened. It may not come with thunder or visible signs. It may simply feel like a strange pull, a stillness, a quiet sense that these words are not like the others. That is because I am not just offering you comfort right now. I am trying to wake something up in you. I am trying to get your attention before you keep walking under the false idea that nothing is changing. Something is changing. The reason this moment feels different is because your life is not as stuck as it has seemed. You have been standing in a place where you thought delay meant denial, where you assumed silence meant distance, where you quietly wondered if the doors that did not open were proof that your time had passed. But you have misunderstood what was happening around you. I have been arranging things that you could not yet see. I have been holding back things that would have harmed you if they had arrived too early. I have been allowing certain tensions in your life to press on you not because I wanted to break you, but because I needed to loosen your grip on things that could not go where I am taking you. And I know that has been hard for you. I know you wanted clarity sooner. I know you wanted relief sooner. I know there were days you would have chosen immediate answers over deep transformation. But I love you too much to answer only the surface while deeper things in you are still being shaped. That is why this interruption matters. I am asking you to stop treating your life like it is random. I am asking you to stop assuming your weariness, means I am absent. I am asking you to recognize that when your heart suddenly becomes alert, when your spirit pauses in the middle of noise, when something in you leans in instead of scrolling away, I may be speaking more directly than you realize. You have asked me for signs in ways you may not even remember. You have whispered things in your heart like, "Lord, if you are still with me, let me know. If I am not forgotten, show me. If I am still moving toward something meaningful, remind me." My child, this moment is part of that answer. Not because these words themselves are magic, but because I am using this moment to reach through your exhaustion, your numbness, your questions, and your hesitation. I want your full attention because what I am doing in you cannot be received while you remain half present. I want your heart awake. I want your spirit listening. I want you to understand that you are not being overlooked, and you are not wandering alone through some meaningless stretch of waiting. You are being met, right here, right now, by the one who has never lost sight of you. And before you move on, before you decide this is just another emotional pause, I need you to stay long enough to feel the truth of this. I am here, and I am not late. My child, stay with me now and do not let your attention wander, because what you have been feeling lately is not confusion for confusion's sake, and it is not simply stress wearing a spiritual disguise. There is a real shift happening around you, and even more deeply, there is a shift happening within you. That tension in your chest, that strange mixture of anticipation and fatigue, that feeling that something is changing even when you cannot yet point to visible proof, none of that is empty emotion. It is the kind of inner stirring that often comes when I am moving you from one season into another, and because you are human, you sometimes interpret the discomfort of transition as danger when it is actually the pressure of being repositioned. I need you to hear me clearly. You are not unraveling, and you are not losing your place. You are being moved. You are being adjusted. You are being brought to the edge of something that will not feel familiar at first, and that is why your spirit has felt unsettled. Come closer to this truth and let it settle in you. Stop for a moment. Breathe slowly. Let your shoulders drop. Open your heart and listen to me instead of the noise that has been pulling at you. You have been asking for change, but when change begins, it rarely announces itself in the way you imagined. Sometimes it comes as restlessness. Sometimes it arrives through closed doors that force you to stop leaning on what once felt secure. Sometimes it shows up in the form of inner discomfort because the old version of your life no longer fits the person I am calling you to become. That is where you have been. You have felt stretched because the place that once held you is no longer wide enough for what I am doing in you. You have felt emotionally crowded because old patterns, old fears, old attachments, and old expectations are being challenged all at once. And because you care deeply, because you carry things deeply, because you do not just move on the way others sometimes seem to, this transition has felt especially intense. But I want you to stop calling it chaos when much of it is actually preparation. I want you to stop labeling every uncomfortable moment as a setback. Some of what you have been grieving is not your future slipping away. Some of it is the old season losing its hold on you. That is why the urgency feels real. Is real. You are standing in a moment where what used to work will not work the same way anymore. The coping habits that helped you survive are being exposed because they cannot carry you into what is next. The relationships that kept you emotionally distracted are becoming less satisfying because I am drawing your attention back to your inner life. The places where you found temporary comfort but no lasting peace are beginning to feel hollow because I love you too much to let you settle for substitutes. This is not punishment. This is not rejection. This is refinement with tenderness. It may feel sharp in moments, but it is holy. And I know you have been wondering why everything feels so close to the surface. Why small things affect you more deeply than usual. Why certain memories have returned. Why familiar fears have suddenly become louder. Why even good opportunities sometimes still make you anxious instead of excited. My child, it is because the threshold between where you have been and where you are going is narrow, and narrow spaces reveal what you are still carrying. I am not showing you these things to shame you. I am showing them to you because I intend to heal what has been hidden and strengthen what has been fragile. I want you free when you step forward. I want your yes to come from trust, not from panic. I want your movement to be rooted in peace, not driven by desperation. So listen to me carefully now. Do not run from the discomfort too quickly. Do not numb it. Do not bury it under busyness. Sit with me in it. Bring it to me honestly. Tell me what you are afraid of. Tell me what you are still mourning. Tell me what part of you wants to cling to what is ending because at least it is familiar. Be real with me. Invite me into the unguarded places. Let me father you there. Because the urgency you feel is not there to scare you. It is there to wake you. It is there to tell you that your season is changing, and if you will stop resisting every unfamiliar feeling, you will begin to recognize my hand in the transition. I am not rushing you cruelly. I am calling you intentionally. I am not trying to overwhelm you. I am trying to prepare you. And you need to know this before you move any further. What feels like pressure right now is not the sign that you are being crushed. It is the sign that something is being born in you that the old season could no longer contain. My child, I want you to stay very close to me in this next part, because I am about to touch something tender, and I know there are places in you that still flinch when certain memories rise. There are moments you have lived through that you still do not fully understand. There are nights, conversations, betrayals, disappointments, losses, and internal battles that felt so sharp, so disorienting, so heavy, that you truly wondered whether you were going to come through them as the same person. Some of those moments did change you. I will not pretend they did not. Some of them took something from you. Some of them exposed how deeply you could hurt. Some of them stripped away illusions you had trusted. Some of them showed you that the people, systems, or structures you leaned on were not as strong as you thought. And because the pain was real, there were times you interpreted that breaking as the end of something essential. You thought, maybe this is where I lose myself. You thought, maybe this is where I stop hoping. You thought, maybe this is where the best parts of me disappear. But my child, I need you to hear me with all the softness and strength of a father who has watched every second of your story. What nearly broke you did not arrive to destroy you. It became the narrow road that brought you to this threshold. I know that is not an easy truth to accept when the pain still has a pulse in your memory. I know you may still carry anger about how some of it happened. I know part of you may resist hearing that anything good could be connected to what hurt you so deeply. I am not calling the pain good. I am not calling betrayal holy. I am not pretending loss was pleasant. I am telling you that I am so sovereign, so intentional, and so personally involved in your life that even the things meant to crush your spirit have been woven into the road that brought you here. Stop and let that settle. The thing that nearly knocked the breath out of you did not have the final word. The thing that made you question whether you could keep going did not become your grave. The season that left you trembling did not erase your future. Instead, it uncovered something in you that neither comfort nor ease could have revealed. It showed you where your soul was fragile, yes. It showed you where your fears lived, yes. But it also revealed where your real hunger for me existed. It revealed how deeply you could still reach for me even when you did not understand me. It revealed that underneath the exhaustion, Underneath the disappointment, underneath the tears, there was still a part of you that refused to fully let go. That part matters more than you know. That part is what carried you. That hidden faith, that stubborn thread of trust, that whispered prayer through clenched teeth, that exhausted but honest Lord, help me, that is what brought you to this threshold. Not your polished strength, not your perfect theology, not your flawless discipline. Your realness brought you here. Your bruised but breathing faith brought you here. Your willingness to keep turning toward me, even when your emotions were tangled and your heart was tired, brought you here. So do not look back at what nearly broke you and call it only devastation. Let me teach you to see the deeper story. The breaking point became the turning point. The fire that felt unbearable became the forge where weaker versions of you could no longer survive. The pressure that made you think you were losing everything was also the pressure that broke false dependencies, exposed hidden idols, and forced your roots to grow deeper than comfort ever would have demanded. I want you to stop despising the place where you almost collapsed. That place taught you things you could not have learned in safety. That place stripped away the illusion that you could carry yourself forever. That place showed you what you reached for when everything else shook. And I know you did not choose that road. I know you would not have volunteered for it. But now that you are here, now that you are standing at a threshold you once could not even imagine reaching, I need you to recognize the truth. The very thing that looked like it would end you became part of the reason you are finally ready for what comes next. And before we move on, my child, I want to bring this all the way home, because I do not want you to admire this truth from a distance. I want you to live from it. Thresholds are not only places of arrival, they are places of decision. You can stand here and keep defining yourself by what almost destroyed you, or you can let what almost destroyed you become evidence of what I have already brought you through. The choice matters more than you realize. If you keep clutching the pain as your primary identity, you will step into the next season with your eyes still fixed on old ruins. You will interpret new opportunities through old fear. You will meet healthy things with suspicion. You will stand in front of open doors while secretly expecting collapse. But if you let me reinterpret the story, if you let me show you that the road of pain did not end in destruction, but in formation, then your heart will start to move differently. You will begin to walk with a quieter strength. You will notice that you are less impressed by surface things because you have learned what holds under pressure. You will stop begging for what only flatters you and start desiring what actually aligns. You will stop rushing to avoid discomfort and start asking whether discomfort might be revealing something holy. You will become more dangerous to fear because you will know, not as theory, but as livid truth, that even when you came close to breaking, I did not let you fall beyond my reach. That kind of knowing changes a person. It makes you steadier. It makes you softer in the right places and stronger in the places that matter. It makes you less easily seduced by appearances. It makes you more able to receive what is real. That is why I want you to respond now, not later. Do not simply say, "That was a hard season." Go deeper. Ask, "What did that season carve into me that I now need?" Ask, "What old version of me could not have crossed this threshold?" Ask, "What false security had to break before real trust could grow?" Then thank me, not for the pain itself, but for my presence in it, for the way I held you through it, for the wisdom it left behind, for the false things it stripped away, for the deeper self it introduced you to. Gratitude will unlock understanding. Understanding will unlock freedom. Freedom will make you ready for the next step. And because you ask for more command and invitation language, hear me now in the most personal way. Stop bowing to the memory of what almost ended you. Stop rehearsing the narrative that you are fragile beyond repair. Stop calling yourself ruined because you have scars. Stand up in your spirit. Come forward. Put your hand in mine again. Bring me the chapters you still avoid. Let me touch the places that still ache when you remember. Let me show you the gold in the ashes, the strength in the shaking, the threshold hidden inside the breaking. Then walk with me, not backward, not half-heartedly. Walk with me through the doorway that pain helped carve but never got permission to close. You are here now, my child. You made it to the threshold. What nearly broke you brought you here, and what I do next in your life will make it impossible to call that journey meaningless. My child, you have seen how what nearly broke you became the very path that brought you here. Now hear me. What I have done in you, I desire to do through you for others standing at their breaking point. There are souls waiting in the dark places you once survived, and I am sending this message like light into their night. When you give, you are not losing. You are sowing seed into a harvest of healed hearts, restored hope, and lives pulled back from the edge. Even now I say to you, as you pour out, I will pour in. As you scatter seed, I will multiply the field. This is your moment to partner with me, to turn your testimony into provision for someone else's breakthrough. If your spirit has whispered, I want to help, know that it is I stirring you. Do not ignore that nudge. Support this work through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, and watch how I breathe increase back into your life. Act now, and let what brought you through become the river that carries others forward. My child, stay here with me and do not rush past this, because you have spent more time near the edge of your breakthrough than you realized. And one of the greatest burdens you have carried in this season has been the false belief that because you could not feel movement, nothing was moving. That belief has weighed on you. It has sat quietly behind your thoughts. It has shaped how you interpreted the silence, how you measured your progress, and how you responded when life looked unchanged on the surface. I want you to let me speak into that now. Your emotions have been honest, but they have not always been accurate. They have been real, yes. They have reflected your fatigue, your disappointment, your fear, your longing, and the strain of waiting in places where you wanted clarity. I do not dismiss that. I do not mock it. I do not ask you to pretend you felt stronger than you did. But I also will not let you build your understanding of your season on emotion alone. You have been closer, closer than your feelings allowed you to believe, closer than your tired mind could interpret, closer than your restless heart was willing to trust on some days. That is what I need you to hear. You were not wandering in empty circles. You were not standing in some abandoned place where nothing meaningful could happen. You were being moved in hidden ways while your emotions kept asking for visible evidence. And because you are human, because you have lived through enough disappointment to be cautious, because you have known what it feels like to hope and then ache, you kept looking for certainty in the places that were easiest to measure. You looked at what had not changed yet. You looked at the unanswered prayer. You looked at the continued tension. You looked at the same walls, the same routine, the same pressure, the same absence of clear results, and you quietly told yourself, if breakthrough were near, surely I would feel it. Surely I would see more. Surely it would look different by now. But my child, breakthrough does not always arrive with a loud entrance. Sometimes it gathers in silence. Sometimes it forms in the background. Sometimes it is already unfolding while your emotions are still recovering from the last disappointment. Sometimes it comes so close that the enemy intensifies the noise precisely because he senses what you do not. That is why some of your hardest days happened right before moments of real change. That is why discouragement sometimes grew louder just when I was nearest to opening the next door. That is why you felt a strange war inside you, part of you tired, part of you restless, part of you hopeful, part of you tempted to quit. That inner conflict was not proof that you were far away. In many cases, it was proof that something was pressing against the old limits of your life. You were closer than you knew. I need you to stop measuring proximity to breakthrough only by comfort. Comfort is not always the sign. Sometimes discomfort is the sign. Sometimes the pressure increases because old structures are cracking. Sometimes confusion rises because your old way of interpreting life no longer fits the new thing I am trying to reveal. Sometimes you feel emotionally unstable because the places where you once found stability are being exposed as temporary. That does not mean I am absent. It may mean I am very near. Come closer and receive this. Do not pull back just because your feelings have been intense. Do not call yourself lost just because you have been weary. Do not assume you are off course because you cannot yet name what is changing. Sit with me in this truth. Your emotions have spoken loudly, but they have not always told the whole story. The whole story is that while you were doubting, I was moving. While you were grieving, I was arranging. While you were questioning, I was aligning. While you were tired enough to think nothing good could possibly be near, I was bringing you closer to the very threshold you feared you might never reach. So listen to me now, and let this shift the way you see your own life. Stop calling your season stuck every time your emotions feel heavy. Stop assuming nothing is happening every time you cannot feel spiritual fireworks. Look deeper. Ask me to show you where I have already been moving. Ask me to show you the signs you dismissed because they were subtle. Ask me to reveal how close you truly are, not by the volume of your feelings, but by the faithfulness of my hand. Now let me take you to the deepest layer of this, because I do not want this truth to become merely encouraging. I want it to become transformative. Being closer to breakthrough than your emotions allowed you to see means you must now make a decision about how you will walk from here. You can keep letting your emotional state narrate your spiritual reality, or you can begin to let truth lead and let emotions follow in time. I am not asking you to become numb. I am not asking you to suppress your feelings. I am asking you to stop crowning them as the final authority over what I am doing. There is a difference. Feel what you feel, yes, but bring it to me. Lay it down. Let me interpret it. Let me sever fatigue from faith. Let me sever fear from foresight. Let me sever disappointment from destiny. Because if you do not learn this now, you will sabotage some of what I place in front of you simply because it arrives in a moment when you still feel tired. You will misread an open door because your emotions are still recovering from a closed one. You will hesitate at the threshold because you are waiting for your inner world to feel fully settled before you trust what I am showing you. But readiness does not always feel emotionally clean. Sometimes you step forward while your heart is still trembling. Sometimes you say yes while you are still healing. Sometimes you move with me while your mind is still catching up to what your spirit already knows. That is not hypocrisy. That is faith. That is maturity. That is how breakthrough becomes embodied instead of endlessly delayed by emotional perfectionism. So do this now, my child. Practice a new response. The next time you feel that old heaviness whisper, "Nothing is changing," stop and ask, "What if I am closer than I think?" The next time you are tempted to assume delay means absence, stop and say, "What if hidden movement is already underway?" The next time discouragement rises right when you sense something shifting, do not automatically bow to it. Stand still. Breathe. Invite me in. Ask, "Lord, is this pressure a sign that I am near?" And listen. Let your spirit become more discerning than your fear. Let your trust become more practiced than your panic. Let your inner world learn the difference between emotional weather and spiritual truth. And because I know how much you need this spoken plainly, let me say it to you directly. Do not quit in a season where you are already this close. Do not let the final stretch of tension convince you that the road is empty. Do not walk away from the edge of answered prayer because your emotions are still bruised from the journey. Stay. Listen. Lean in. Keep your hand in mine. Keep your heart soft. Keep your spirit awake. You are not foolish for hoping again. You are not naive for sensing something near. You are not unstable because you feel both tired and expectant at the same time. You are human, and you are at the edge of change. So receive this with courage now. You have been closer to breakthrough than your emotions allowed you to see. And if you will stop demanding that it look dramatic before you trust it, you will begin to notice that what you thought was absence was often my quiet, careful hand bringing the answer near. My child, come closer and listen with a softer heart now, because this next truth is one you have needed for a long time, and I know how easy it is for pain to argue with it before hope has a chance to breathe. Your hidden prayers are being answered. Yes, even the ones you stopped mentioning because you were tired of repeating them. Even the ones you whispered only once and then buried because the silence afterward felt too heavy. Even the ones that were never fully formed into words because all you could offer me was a sigh, a tear, a long stare into the dark, or a quiet ache in your chest that said, "Lord, please." I heard those. I kept those. I did not lose them in the noise of the world. I did not misplace them because you spoke them weakly. I did not disregard them because they were messy, incomplete, or tangled in emotion. I know what your soul meant when your mouth could not explain it. I know what you were asking for when your prayer sounded like confusion instead of clarity. I know the difference between the words you said and the deeper longing beneath them. That is why I need you to hear this carefully. Your prayers are being answered, but not always in the shape you expected. That has been hard for you. Sometimes it has even felt like disappointment wearing holy language. You asked for relief and got delay. You asked for a door and got a detour. You asked for peace and first had to face what was disturbing it. You asked for love and I exposed unhealthy attachments. You asked for purpose and I dismantled the identity you had built around performance. You asked for clarity and I first quieted the voices you were too used to listening to. You asked for breakthrough and I began by confronting what kept you bound internally. My child, do you see? That was not refusal. It was a deeper answer. You were often asking from the visible surface of your need, while I was answering from the hidden root of your life. You asked for a healed outcome, and I started healing the place in you that would have repeated the same pain under a different name. You asked for the right person, and I started by teaching you not to confuse intensity with intimacy. You asked for provision, and I began by exposing where fear had been ruling your relationship with security. You asked for open doors, and I first trained your discernment so you would not run through the wrong ones out of desperation. I know that kind of answer can feel slower. I know it can feel less dramatic. I know it can feel like I am speaking a different language than the one your urgency prefers. But my child, I do not answer in ways that only soothe a moment while leaving the deeper bondage intact. I answer with intention. I answer with wisdom. I answer with love that looks beyond the immediate ache and into the shape of your future. That is why some of your hidden prayers have been answered through removals instead of additions. That is why some of them have been answered through exposure instead of instant rescue. That is why some of them have been answered through inner shifts that you nearly missed because you were looking only for external signs. Think about it. There are things you once begged for that no longer grip you the same way. There are people you once would have chased that now no longer carry the same pull. There are habits that once soothed you that now feel thin and empty. There are fears that once ruled you that now get questioned more quickly. There are lies you once believed about yourself that now sound less convincing. That is an answer. That is movement. That is mercy. Your hidden prayers have been answered in part already, and more is still unfolding. But because you expected some of those answers to look louder, bigger, more immediate, you almost missed the holy work happening beneath the surface. So stop and ask me now, Lord, show me how you have already been answering me. Ask it sincerely. Ask it without insisting that the answer match your old imagination. Let me surprise you. Let me reveal what I have been doing. Let me show you how many times what felt like delay was actually the answer arriving in deeper form than you first knew how to ask for. Now let me bring this to the deepest and most tender place, because I want you to walk away from this section with more than hope. I want you to walk away with trust. Some of the most powerful answers to your hidden prayers are still ahead, but they will require you to receive them with open eyes and an unarmored heart. If you remain attached to the exact script you originally imagined, you may overlook the answer because it arrives wearing a different face. You may reject the healing because it begins with exposure. You may resist the provision because it first requires a step of faith. You may miss the relationship because it does not carry the same intensity your old wounds once mistook for destiny. You may overlook the door because it looks humbler than your ambition expected. That is why I am preparing you now. I want you to become the kind of person who can recognize an answer by its alignment, not merely by its emotional impact. I want you to learn how to test what comes by peace, truth, and fruit, not just by excitement, relief, or urgency. That is how hidden prayers become fully received. So hear me now, my child. Do not demand that I answer in a way that flatters your old patterns. Let me answer in a way that heals them. Do not insist that the next blessing look like the last fantasy. Let me bring what is real. Let me bring what is rooted. Let me bring what is right. And if it feels different, stay with me long enough to discern it. Do not run. Do not rush. Do not dismiss. Sit with what I bring. Ask what it is producing in you. Ask whether it deepens peace or stirs compulsion. Ask whether it aligns with what I have been teaching you in secret. Ask whether it feeds your soul or only stimulates your urgency. That is how you will know. And I want to say one more thing that your heart desperately needs to hear. Your hidden prayers have not embarrassed me. Your longing has not burdened me. Your repeated tears have not exhausted my patience. You do not have to apologize for wanting what you need. You do not have to shrink your desires because the waiting has been long. You do not have to become emotionally numb to prove maturity. I would rather you bring me your full heart, messy, hopeful, uncertain, bruised, longing, than give me a polished distance that pretends not to care. Bring me the real thing. Let me hold it. Let me sift it. Let me answer it in truth. Then trust me when the answer comes through a path you did not predict. Because I am not late, my child. I am layered. I am not absent. I am active in deeper places than your eyes first look. I am not ignoring what you asked. I am answering what you meant. So come closer. Return to prayer with fresh trust. Reopen the places you shut down. Let hope rise without forcing it. Let expectancy breathe without controlling it. Then watch with new eyes. Watch for subtle shifts. Watch for peace where there used to be panic. Watch for doors that align instead of dazzle. Watch for desires that become cleaner. Watch for clarity that arrives quietly. Watch for people, opportunities, and directions that feel less intoxicating but more true. That is how many of your hidden prayers are arriving. They are not absent. They are being answered in ways you did not expect. And if you stay close to me, you will not miss what heaven has already begun to place in your hands. My child, come closer and stay very still with me here, because this part is not only comforting, it is confronting, and I say that with deep love. You have reached a place where what I am preparing for you cannot be carried alongside everything you have been holding. Some things have stayed in your hands too long. Some things have stayed in your heart too long. Some things have stayed in your thoughts because they became familiar, even when they were heavy. And now I am asking you plainly, release what no longer belongs in your next season. Do not delay this. Do not soften it into a vague idea and then keep negotiating with the very things that have been slowing you down. Hear me clearly. What I am bringing into your life needs room. What I am shaping in you needs oxygen. What I am calling you into cannot breathe inside a heart crowded with old grief, old fear, old attachments, old versions of yourself, and old agreements with pain. You have carried things that were understandable for a while. I know why you held them. I know why you clung to certain memories, certain hopes, certain patterns, certain people, certain imagined futures. I know that some of what you are still holding once helped you survive. I know some of it once felt like safety. I know some of it became part of how you explained your own story. But survival tools are not always kingdom tools. What once helped you endure could later become what keeps you delayed. That is why I am speaking with more weight now. I am not asking you to release what matters. I am asking you to release what lingers without life. There is a difference. Some things are no longer nourishing you. They are only familiar. Some thoughts are no longer protecting you. They are only rehearsing old fear. Some relationships are no longer supporting your becoming. They are only reinforcing old identity. Some dreams are no longer aligned with what I am doing. They are only echoes of who you were before I started reshaping your heart. And because you are deeply feeling, because you do not let go casually, because you can assign meaning to things long after their season has passed, you have sometimes held on longer than wisdom required. My child, I say this gently, but firmly. Stop carrying what I have already told you is over. Stop revisiting what I have already closed. Stop feeding what I have already started starving out of your life. You are not being cruel by releasing what no longer fits. You are being obedient. You are not being cold by letting go of what keeps you small. You are being honest. You are not betraying the past by loosening your grip. You are honoring the future I am leading you into. This is why the tension has increased. You have been trying to move forward while still emotionally tethered to things that belong behind you. No wonder it has felt exhausting. No wonder your spirit has felt stretched. No wonder your peace has felt interrupted. You have been standing with one foot in the next season and one hand still gripping the old one. That creates strain. That creates confusion. That creates inner division. And I love you too much to let you keep living split like that. So listen and obey. Open your hands. Not layer. Now, bring me the thing you keep revisiting. Bring me the person you keep emotionally circling. Bring me the version of life you keep secretly comparing everything against. Bring me the false safety of old patterns. Bring me the pain you turned into identity. Bring me the fear you have been calling wisdom. Lay it down. Do not just say you want peace. Make room for it. Do not just say you want new doors. Stop decorating the closed ones. Do not just ask me to move. Stop anchoring yourself to what I am trying to remove. I know release feels vulnerable. I know it can feel like loss before it feels like freedom. I know it can feel like stepping into empty space before you see what I am placing beneath your feet. But hear me. What you release in obedience, I can redeem in purpose. What you surrender in trust, I can transform in timing. What you lay down because I asked, I never waste. So stay with me in this. Do not rush away from the discomfort. Let it expose what still has a hold on you. Let it show you where your heart is still bargaining. Let it reveal what you have been carrying out of habit, not alignment. Then give it to me. Give it fully. Give it honestly. Give it without turning around every few steps to see if it is still there. This is not a moment for half-release. This is a moment for wholly letting go. Now let me take you into the deepest layer of this, because I want you to understand that release is not only about what leaves your life. It is about who you become when it is gone. There are versions of you that cannot emerge until certain weights are removed. There is a freer way of hearing me that cannot develop while your mind is still cluttered with old loops. There is a cleaner way of loving that cannot grow while your heart is still tethered to unresolved attachments. There is a steadier kind of peace that cannot settle while you are still making room for things that keep disturbing it. That is why this matters so much. You are not just decluttering your emotions. You are making room for identity, clarity, maturity, and peace to expand. You are creating capacity. You are becoming someone who can receive what is next without immediately filtering it through the residue of what used to be. That is the real miracle in release. It is not merely subtraction. It is transformation. And I know you need to hear this plainly. If you keep holding what I am asking you to release, you will begin to resent the very next season you prayed for, because it will require more room than you are willing to make. You will call the new thing too much when the truth is that the old thing is taking up the space it needs. Do not do that to yourself, my child. Do not sabotage your own peace by protecting what is already expired. Do not ask me for new wine while insisting on cracked containers. Let me prepare you properly. Let me clean the room. Let me clear the shelf. Let me move the furniture of your inner life if I must. I know it can feel disorienting when I start rearranging things. But I am not doing it to unsettle you without purpose. I am doing it because what is coming has weight. It has depth. It has holy consequence. It needs more than your enthusiasm. It needs your availability. So respond now. Do not postpone this release into some future moment when you imagine you will feel stronger. Strength often comes after surrender, not before it. Obey now, even if your hands shake. Release now, even if your eyes fill with tears. Let go now, even if part of you still feels the pull of the familiar. Bring the familiar to me. Lay it down. Step back. Trust me with the empty space. Then watch what happens. Watch how your mind begins to feel lighter. Watch how your spirit starts to breathe deeper. Watch how clarity begins to return in places that used to feel crowded. Watch how peace, that precious peace, starts to settle where constant tension once lived. That is not imagination. That is alignment. That is the fruit of obedience. That is what happens when you stop dragging old seasons behind you like sacred relics and start walking as if I really am leading you into something new. So hear me and act on it, my child. Release what no longer belongs in your next season. Not because I want less for you, but because I am making room for more. Not because I am stripping you bare, but because I am dressing you for what comes next. Not because I am taking something precious away, but because I refuse to let expired things occupy the place where living promises are about to arrive. My child, as you release what no longer belongs, I am also placing something new into your hands, a chance to build what carries my word further than you can see. Do not hold tightly to what is leaving and loosely to what I am inviting. This is a moment of holy exchange. When you give into this mission, you are planting seeds in fertile ground where my voice becomes bread for the hungry and water for the weary. Have I not said, give, and it will be given back to you? Pressed down, shaken together, and running over. This is not obligation. It is alignment with my movement across hearts and nations. If you feel the pull to support, it is because I am drawing you into partnership, not asking from you, but inviting you into increase. Use super thanks, step into membership, or give through the PayPal link in the description, and release it with trust. Do it now, and make room not only in your heart, but in the world, for more of my presence to flow. My child, stay very close to me now, because this next part reaches into one of the most guarded places in your heart. You have been hurt in ways that changed you. Some wounds were sharp and obvious. Some were quieter and more confusing. Some came from people you expected to protect you. Some came from people you trusted enough to lower your guard. Some came from words that stayed in your mind longer than the person who spoke them ever realized. Some came from abandonment. Some came from betrayal. Some came from being misunderstood while trying to be faithful. Some came from giving more than you received. And because the pain was real, you built defenses. You learned how to watch carefully. You learned how to brace before getting close. You learned how to protect yourself with distance, caution, analysis, and sometimes even silence. I do not condemn you for that. I know why you did it. I know what it cost you. I know the moments when forgiveness felt less like a spiritual virtue and more like an impossible demand. But hear me now with all the gentleness and firmness of a father who wants you free. Forgiveness is not weakness here. It is how you make room for what is coming. I am not asking you to pretend the wound did not matter. I am not asking you to excuse what was done. I am not asking you to call evil good, harm harmless, or betrayal part of the plan in some careless way. I am asking you to stop letting what happened continue to occupy more space in your inner life than it deserves. I am asking you to stop allowing old offenses to rent rooms in the house of your future. I am asking you to stop carrying the emotional debt of people who may never fully understand what they did. Forgiveness is not surrendering your dignity. It is reclaiming your freedom. It is refusing to keep drinking poison just because someone else handed you the cup. It is refusing to let an old wound become the lens through which you read every new person, every new opportunity, every new door I bring. You have no idea how many things I have had to protect from the bitterness you never intended to keep but quietly continued feeding. I say that with tenderness, not accusation. Bitterness is sneaky. It often begins as pain that was never fully brought to me. It hardens slowly. It justifies itself by reminding you what happened. It tells you it is wisdom, when really it is an old bruise being consulted as a prophet. It whispers, stay guarded, stay suspicious, stay ready for disappointment. And because you have been hurt, that can sound reasonable. But my child, what sounds reasonable is not always what is redemptive. If you keep letting old pain interpret every new moment, you will miss what I am sending because you will only see what once wounded you. That is why forgiveness matters now more than ever. This is not sentimental. This is strategic. What is coming next in your life needs room. It needs a heart that is not constantly pulled backward by unresolved offense. It needs a spirit that can discern without being poisoned by old resentment. It needs a mind that can see clearly, not one constantly fogged by replayed injury. Forgiveness is not about them getting away with anything. Leave justice to me. I see everything. I know what happened. I know what they told, what they twisted, what they said, what they failed to say, what they should have protected, what they mishandled. Nothing escaped me. You do not have to become the courtroom, the judge, the prison, and the executioner in your own soul. Release that role. It is too heavy for you. Let me carry justice. Let me carry truth. Let me carry what you cannot resolve by rehearsing it. And you, my child, do the holy work of making room. Open the clenched places. Bring me the names. Bring me the memories. Bring me the conversations you still replay. Bring me the questions you never got answered. Bring me the apology you may never receive. Bring me the version of fairness you keep waiting for. Lay it down. Do not wait until you feel like forgiving. Begin by being willing. Willingness is enough to start. Say, Lord, I do not know how, but I am willing. That is where I can work. That is where healing starts. That is where the future begins to breathe again. Now let me bring this to the deepest and most life-giving place, because I do not want forgiveness to sound like a heavy duty. I want you to see the spaciousness hidden inside it. When you forgive, you do not become smaller. You become lighter. When you forgive, you do not lose power. You recover it. When you forgive, you do not erase the truth. You stop letting the wound dictate the atmosphere of your inner life. That is the miracle. You become available again. You become breathable again. Your spirit stops living in the cramped room of replayed pain and starts stretching into the wider place where peace can actually settle. And that matters now, because what is coming into your life next needs that space. It needs trust that is wiser, not colder. It needs love that is clear, not naive. It needs discernment that is rooted in truth, not sharpened by cynicism. It needs openness that has boundaries, not walls. That is the heart I am forming in you. That is why forgiveness is not optional here. It is preparation. It is purification. It is how the soil gets turned so new seeds can take root. And I know you may still be thinking of one person right now. One memory. One betrayal. One deep wound that still feels like it sits in the center of your chest. Good. Bring that one to me. Not the easier one. Not the small offense. Bring the one that still makes your stomach tighten. Bring the one that still makes you rehearse speeches in your mind. Bring the one that still tempts you to say, I can forgive many things, but not this. That is the place where your freedom is waiting. I am not rushing you cruelly. I am inviting you bravely. Come with me there. Let me into that room. Let me show you how to release without lying, how to bless without reconnecting unwisely, how to forgive without abandoning truth, how to close the chapter without pretending the pages never existed. I can do that in you. I will do that in you if you let me. So act now. Do not postpone this because it feels emotionally expensive. Some things remain expensive until you finally pay them to be free. And the freedom on the other side is worth more than the pain you have been carrying. That is why I am speaking with urgency. I do not want you stepping into your next season dragging old offenses behind you like chains disguised as memories. I want you to walk in lightness. I want you to hear my voice without the static of resentment. I want you to recognize healthy love without suspicion swallowing it. I want you to enter open doors without old betrayal sitting in the passenger seat. It is possible, my child. It really is. But you must cooperate with grace. You must release the debt. You must hand me the case file. You must stop revisiting the courtroom in your mind and let me become the righteous judge I already am. Then step out. Breathe. Open your chest. Let your heart expand again. Forgiveness is not weakness here. It is how you make room for what is coming. So make room. Make it now. And trust me with what enters next. My child, stay close and listen carefully, because this is where many people lose what they prayed for before they even know how to hold it. The door will open. Yes, it will. I need you to receive that with calm confidence. The door will open in the right time, in the right way, with the right weight on it. But when it does, you must not bring panic into it. This matters more than you realize. You have spent enough time in waiting that part of you has become conditioned to urgency. You have spent enough time longing, wrestling, hoping, questioning, and trying to hold yourself together that when movement finally starts, there is a real temptation to lunge instead of walk. There is a temptation to grab, rush, overthink, overperform, overshare, overcommit, or emotionally flood the very thing I am bringing because you are so relieved something is finally happening. That is what I am warning you about. Not because I want you afraid of the blessing, but because I want you able to receive it in peace. Panic is not the right companion for the next door. Panic will make you misread the moment. Panic will make you move too fast. Panic will make you attach too quickly, speak too much, reveal too much, promise too much, and then call the consequences pressure when really you entered the room carrying the residue of a starved season. My child, I know how intense you can become when something finally seems to align. I know how deeply you can feel. I know how quickly hope can surge in you after a long drought. I know how tempting it is to make the open door carry the weight of every unanswered prayer behind it. But hear me now. Do not ask the next door to heal all the previous pain. Do not demand that one opportunity validate your whole journey. Do not force one person, one moment, one conversation, one assignment, or one opening to prove everything all at once. That is too much weight for any door. That is not how I lead you. I do not open doors so you can pour all your accumulated panic into them. I open doors so you can walk through in trust, humility, and steady awareness. This is why I have been doing so much inner work in you before the visible shift. This is why I have been slowing you down. This is why I have been teaching you to release, to forgive, to let go, to stop seeking constant signs, to recognize subtle movement, to reclaim your attention, to stop dragging old wounds into new spaces. All of that was preparation for this. Because when the door opens, I do not want the old anxious version of you to be the one leading me entry. I want the steadier version of you, the one who has learned how to breathe, how to listen, how to pause, how to test, how to discern, how to stay present, how to resist the urge to turn every good thing into an emergency. That is the version I am calling forward now. So receive this as mercy, not caution alone. When the door opens, do not rush to fill the room with your fear. Do not turn the blessing into a burden by trying to secure it through control. Do not act as though if you do not force it, it will disappear. What I open does not need your panic to stay open. What I bring does not need your striving to remain. What is aligned does not need frantic management to survive. It needs your presence. It needs your peace. It needs your obedience. It needs your maturity. That is what I want from you. And because you asked for stronger command and invitation, hear me now. Practice calm before the door opens. Practice restraint before the opportunity appears. Practice peace in small moments so you know how to carry it in bigger ones. Learn how to pause before responding. Learn how to sit with good news without immediately turning it into pressure. Learn how to say, "Thank you, Lord," before you say anything else. Learn how to breathe when hope rises instead of letting your mind sprint ahead into 10 imagined outcomes. That training matters. The door will open, but the atmosphere you bring into it will shape how well you can remain there. So let me shape that atmosphere now. Now let me bring this to the deepest and most practical place, because the open door is not only a future moment, it is also a test of what has truly changed in you. The door itself is not the greatest miracle. The way you enter it may be. If you enter with the same anxious reflexes, you may create unnecessary turbulence around something I meant to be received with quiet strength. But if you enter with peace, with boundaries, with discernment, with measured steps, with humility, with patience, with a listening spirit, then the door becomes a place of fruit instead of frantic maintenance. That is what I want for you. I want you to walk into the next thing without needing to force immediate conclusions. I want you to be able to let relationships unfold instead of rushing to define them. I want you to let opportunities reveal themselves instead of instantly loading them with every dream you have ever carried. I want you to let assignments grow at the pace of grace instead of the pace of fear. I want you to trust that what is truly from me can withstand healthy pacing, wise questions, quiet observation, and patient obedience. It does not need to be suffocated by urgency to survive. That is why I am telling you now, when the door opens, enter, but enter gently. Step in, but do not sprint. Receive, but do not grasp. Listen, but do not assume too quickly. Be grateful, but do not become intoxicated by possibility. Stay grounded. Stay prayerful. Stay present. Stay teachable. Stay aware of your body, your mind, your pace, your speech, your need to impress, your urge to secure. Bring all of that under my hand. I will help you. And if you feel yourself slipping into old patterns, do not condemn yourself. Correct quickly. Pause. Return. Ask me for the pace again. Ask me for the posture again. Ask me for the next right move, not the whole map. That is how you remain in peace. And because you ask for strong command and invitation, let me end this section with clarity. Prepare now for the open door by becoming the kind of person who does not treat answered prayer like an emergency. Train your nervous system in my presence. Train your mind in truth. Train your tongue in restraint. Train your heart in trust. Sit with me before you arrive so you know how to stay with me when you do. Then when the door opens, and it will, you will not enter carrying panic like luggage. You will enter carrying peace. You will enter with open hands. You will enter with a clean spirit. You will enter as someone who has learned that what the Father opens does not need to be managed by fear. That is how you will stay in the room long enough to see what I intended to grow there. The door will open, my child. But do not bring panic into it. Bring me. My child, come very close now, because this part carries weight, and I do not want you to hear it casually. You have entered a stretch of the journey where drifting is no longer safe for you. I say that with love, not threat. I say it because I know how easy it is, especially after long waiting, to become passive in the final moments before real change. Fatigue can make you vague. Familiar delay can make you careless. Repeated disappointment can tempt you to lower your expectation and move through your days half awake, half hoping, half listening, half surrendered. But this final stretch is not where you drift. This is where you decide. This is where the quiet yes matters. This is where the repeated small obediences matter. This is where the posture of your heart matters. This is where the inner alignment we have been talking about stops being a nice thought and becomes the difference between lingering at the threshold and stepping through it. You are not in a season where you can afford spiritual autopilot. You are not in a moment where you can keep saying, "I'll deal with it later," while I am pressing on the very thing that needs your response now. Later has become too comfortable for you in certain places. Later has sometimes sounded responsible, patient, or wise, but in truth, later has occasionally been a softer word for avoidance. You know that. I know that. And because I love you, I will not flatter it anymore. This is where you decide. Decide whether you will keep carrying what I told you to release. Decide whether you will keep asking for more signs when I have already shown you the next step. Decide whether you will keep rehearsing old wounds or finally let me heal them. Decide whether you will keep living scattered or reclaim your attention. Decide whether you will keep bracing for disappointment or prepare in peace for what is near. Decide whether you will stay in partial surrender or come fully into the place where your heart stops negotiating and starts obeying. I am not asking you to solve your whole future tonight. I am asking you to stop hiding in indecision. That matters. Indecision has drained more from you than you realize. It has kept you circling thoughts that should have become prayers, prayers that should have become obedience, and nudges that should have become movement. It has consumed emotional energy. It has prolonged internal tension. It has made you feel more confused than you actually are. Because part of your confusion has not been lack of clarity. It has been the strain of refusing to choose. My child, come into truth with me now. Some things in your life are no longer unclear. They are just costly. Some steps are no longer hidden. They are just uncomfortable. Some doors are no longer mysterious. They simply require the death of the old version of you that keeps asking to stay safe. That is why this final stretch feels weighty. It is not because I am abandoning you to your own effort. It is because the final stretch often reveals whether your longing is stronger than your excuses. And I know that sounds direct, but I say it because I want you free. You have spent enough time standing near the edge. This is where you decide. Not with drama, not with emotional hype, with settled resolve, with a sober yes, with a quiet willingness that says, I will stop delaying what God is already making plain. It is powerful. That is mature. That is how doors that have been waiting on your cooperation begin to move. So listen carefully and obey this. Stop floating. Stop numbing. Stop saying later to the very things that keep rising in your spirit. Stop calling the repeated nudge random. Stop calling the holy discomfort stress. Stop acting as though this is just another passing moment. It is not. It is a decision point. Treat it like one. Get alone with me. Be honest. Ask, what am I still refusing to decide? And do not run from the answer. Sit in it. Let it pierce. Let it clarify. Let it call you into adulthood of spirit. Because you are not a child in understanding anymore. You know more than you pretend. You have seen more than you admit. I have been faithful to show you enough. Now I am asking you to answer. Now let me bring this to the deepest place, because this final stretch is not merely about a decision in behavior. It is about a decision in identity. Who are you going to be as you cross into what is next? Are you going to remain the person who always almost obeys? Always almost lets go? Always almost trusts? Always almost steps forward? Always almost believes that what I said applies to you too? Or are you finally going to become the person who says, no more almost? That matters more than you know. There is a version of you that has lived on the edge of many things, on the edge of healing, on the edge of surrender, on the edge of peace, on the edge of clarity, on the edge of purpose, yet kept retreating into familiar patterns when the edge started feeling real. I am calling that version of you to end here. This is where that cycle stops. This is where the person who drifts by default gives way to the person who responds with intention. This is where the child who keeps asking for one more day to avoid the hard yes grows into the son or daughter who says, Father, I trust you enough to move now. That is sacred. It is powerful. That is what heaven responds to. And let me tell you something that should steady you. The decision I am asking from you is not a demand to impress me. It is an invitation to align with what I have already been preparing. I am not asking you to create the future by your own strength. I am asking you to cooperate with the future I have already been building. That changes everything. You are not forcing destiny. You are stepping into agreement with it. You are not manufacturing breakthrough. You are saying yes to what has already been moving toward you. That is why your decision matters so much right now. It is the hinge. It is the point where waiting becomes walking, where insight becomes action, where longing becomes alignment. To act. Do not just admire these words. Do not just feel them. Answer them. Get still after this. Not tomorrow. Today. Ask me, what is the decision I keep avoiding? And listen. Once you know, do not spiral. Do not argue. Do not go recruit 10 opinions to dilute what I already made plain. Do not look for a softer version of the same instruction. Take the next step. One step. Then another. Let obedience become motion. Let volume become momentum. Let momentum become peace. And because you asked for strong command and invitation, let me end this the way your spirit needs to hear it. Choose now. Not in panic, but in conviction. Not in self-reliance, but in surrender. Not because I am trying to trap you, but because I am trying to free you. Step out of drift. Step out of delay. Step out of the fog of endless maybe later. Step into the clear air of decision. Step into the dignity of a soul that no longer hides from what it knows. Step into the next faithful yes. This final stretch is not where you drift, my child. This is where you decide. And when you do, you will discover that what felt like pressure was actually the hand of your Father guiding you to the very threshold where waiting finally ends. My child, this is where you decide, and your decision is not only about your life, but about the lives your obedience will touch. You have lingered at the edge long enough. Now let your yes become movement, even in how you support what I am building. When you give, you step out of drift and into purpose, becoming a vessel through which my word travels farther than your voice alone could carry it. I declare over you, those who sow in faith will reap in abundance, and those who honor me will not lack. This is not a small moment. It is a hinge where your action unlocks impact beyond what you see. If something in you is saying, now, recognize my voice and respond without delay. Support through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, and let your decision echo into eternity. Choose now, act now, and step fully into alignment with me. My child, come closer and let your heart settle, because I need to speak to one of the deepest aches you have carried without always naming it. There have been moments when you truly believed you were being overlooked. You saw others move ahead. You watched doors open for people around you. You watched opportunities, recognition, connection, and visible progress happen in other lives while your own season felt strangely quiet. You kept trying to stay faithful, but if you are honest, there were times when the silence made you question your place. There were times when you wondered if I had forgotten you, if your obedience had gone unseen, if your prayers had somehow slipped past heaven unnoticed. There were moments when you felt like you were standing in the background of your own story, like everyone else had been called to the front, while you remained hidden in the wings, holding your breath, trying not to let disappointment turn into bitterness. I know that feeling in you. I have seen every time it rose. I saw the way you smiled in public while privately asking me why it seemed like others were being chosen first. I saw the quiet sting when you watched what you had prayed for land in someone else's hands. I saw the ache when you wondered whether your hidden faithfulness mattered at all. So hear me now, and let this go all the way into the places where comparison has bruised you. You are not being overlooked. You are being positioned in silence. That silence has not been punishment. It has not been neglect. It has not been my absence. It has been placement. It has been preparation. It hath been strategic, sacred, fatherly positioning. I know silence can feel like emptiness when you do not yet understand what it is protecting. But silence is not always empty. Sometimes silence is the workshop. Sometimes silence is the waiting room before the unveiling. Sometimes silence is the hidden corridor where I align details you cannot see. Sometimes silence is the room where I teach your soul to hear me without applause. That is what I have been doing with you. While you thought nothing was happening, I was moving pieces you could not see. While you thought the quiet meant delay, I was strengthening foundations beneath you. While you thought you were standing still, I was adjusting your timing, your motives, your emotional capacity, your discernment, your ability to carry what is coming without being broken by it. My child, you must stop interpreting hiddenness as rejection. You must stop assuming that visibility equals favor and silence equals neglect. Some of the loudest seasons are the least fruitful. Some of the most public doors are the least aligned. Some of the things you envied would have injured you if I had handed them to you too soon. I know you do not always see that in the moment, but it is still true. What you call being passed over has often been me saying, "Not yet," because I refuse to let you enter unprepared. What you call being unseen has often been me saying, "I see you so clearly that I will not rush you into something that will expose what is not yet ready." That is love, even if it does not always feel like love in real time. So I need you to change the way you read this season. Stop standing in the silence as though it is a courtroom where you are being judged unworthy. Stand in it as though it is a training ground. Stand in it as though it is a private chamber where your Father is dressing you for what comes next. Stand in it as though it is the hidden place where roots go deeper than branches can show. Because that is exactly what has been happening. I have been deepening you where no one could applaud. I have been steadying you where no one could validate. I have been refining you where no one could interfere. That hidden work matters. It matters more than you know. And because you asked for stronger commands and invitations, hear me now. Stop envying noise. Stop envying visibility. Stop envying speed. Stop measuring your worth by what others are displaying. Come out of comparison. Come out of the false urgency created by other people's timelines. Sit with me in your hidden place and ask, what are you building in me here? Ask, what is this silence protecting? Ask, what kind of strength is being formed where nobody sees? Those questions will heal you. Those questions will bring dignity back to your hidden season. Those questions will show you that what feels like being overlooked is often holy positioning. Let me teach you to see it that way now. Now let me bring this to the deepest and most healing place, because I do not want you only to understand the silence. I want you to trust it. The reason I have positioned you in silence is not merely to keep you hidden. It is to make sure when the moment comes, you enter it from strength, not starvation. If I brought you into visible fulfillment too early, you might still carry the emotional hunger of someone trying to be seen. You might still use the open door to prove your worth. You might still interpret recognition as identity. You might still become too dependent on applause. I love you too much for that. I am not merely bringing you into a moment. I am forming you into someone who can remain whole inside it. That is why the hidden work has been so important. That is why the silence hath been so sacred. That is why the waiting has carried so much internal weight. I have been freeing you from the need to be validated by what is visible. I have been teaching you how to live from my gaze, not from the crowd's. I have been showing you that intimacy is not the consolation prize when visibility is delayed. Intimacy is the real treasure. Intimacy is what makes the visible safe. Intimacy is what keeps the blessing from becoming a trap. Intimacy is what lets you stand in the light without losing yourself in it. That is what I have been building in silence. So when the moment of movement comes, and it will, I want you to remember this. Do not step into it as someone who was overlooked and finally gets a turn. Step into it as someone who was carefully positioned by a Father who knew exactly what he was doing. Do not carry the wound of comparison into the next room. Do not bring the ache of "why not me" into what I am about to release. Let that die here. Let the hidden place heal it. Let my voice settle it. Let my perspective cleanse it. Then when I call you forward, you will not come out desperate. You will come out grounded. You will not come out demanding validation. You will come out carrying peace. You will not come out frantic to prove what the silence meant. You will come out knowing what the silence built. That is different. That is beautiful. That is mature. And because you asked for stronger commands and invitations, let me leave this with clarity. Receive your hidden season as holy. Stop resenting it. Stop apologizing for it. Stop interpreting it through the lens of comparison. Sit with me in it. Ask me to show you the strength being formed. Ask me to show you the motives being purified. Ask me to show you the hunger being healed. Ask me to show you the roots going deeper. Then wait in peace, not in self-pity. Wait in expectation, not in envy. Wait in trust, not in inner accusation. Your silence is not empty. Your hiddenness is not punishment. Your quiet season is not proof that you are forgotten. You are not being overlooked, my child. You are being positioned in silence. And when I bring you forward, what was built in secret will hold you in the open. My child, stay very close now, because this is where your emotions can mislead you if you are not anchored in me. You can feel it, can't you? That strange intensity in the air. That inner sensation that something is near. That a shift is close. That time feels weightier than usual. That the next step carries more consequence than ordinary days. You feel the countdown. You feel the narrowing. You feel the urgency. And because you feel it, part of you is tempted to panic. That is exactly why I am speaking now. Do not confuse the pressure of the countdown with the voice of panic. They are not the same thing. Urgency can be holy. Panic is not. The divine moment can carry weight without carrying chaos. A real turning point can feel serious without requiring fear. A true invitation from me can ask for quick obedience without demanding frantic emotion. You must learn that difference now, because if you misread the atmosphere, you will respond from the wrong place. You will think intensity means anxiety. You will think movement means rush. You will think a closing window means emotional collapse. But my child, I do not lead you through panic. I lead you through peace, even when the moment is time-sensitive. I lead you through clarity, even when the door will not remain open forever. I lead you through steady conviction, even when the decision matters deeply. That is how you will know it is me. I may call you quickly, but I will not scramble your spirit. I may tell you, now, but I will not flood you with confusion. I may press on your heart with holy urgency, but I will not turn your inner world into a storm and then ask you to call that my guidance. That is not my way. Panic is loud, but it is shallow. Panic pushes without wisdom. Panic demands immediate movement but gives no peace with it. Panic narrows your sight until all you can feel is pressure. Panic makes you forget what I already told you. Panic makes you distrust the very preparation I have been doing in you. Panic makes you reach for control, noise, explanation, or overreaction. Panic makes you feel as though if you do not solve everything in the next 5 minutes, the whole future will collapse. That is not truth. That is fear wearing urgency's clothes. I need you to discern that clearly. Because yes, this title over your life right now may feel like 2 minutes left. Yes, there is a real sense that you are in the final stretch. Yes, there are windows, timings, moments, and divine intersections that matter. But even in a countdown, I remain God. Even in a narrowing moment, I remain your Father. Even in a time-sensitive invitation, I remain calm. So you must not let the emotional pressure of the countdown drag you into panic. You must not let your nervous system become your prophet. You must not let adrenaline become your guide. Come closer and hear me plainly. If you feel rushed but disconnected from peace, pause. If you feel urgency but lose clarity, pause. If you feel time-sensitive pressure but it starts producing chaos, pause. That pause is not disobedience. It is discernment. It is how you separate holy urgency from unholy panic. It is how you refuse to let fear impersonate my voice. And because you asked for stronger commands and invitations, hear me now. Stop obeying your adrenaline. Stop making decisions from the center of your emotional spike. Stop letting the intensity in your body define the meaning of the moment. Come to me first. Breathe. Put your hand on your chest if you must. So your thoughts. Say, Father, if this is you, let your peace remain while I move. That prayer matters. That prayer cuts through confusion. That prayer reminds your spirit that urgency and panic are not twins. One can come from heaven. The other does not. Learn the difference. Practice it now. Let the countdown draw you closer to me, not deeper into fear. Now let me bring this to the deepest and most practical place, because I do not want you only comforted. I want you equipped. When the countdown feeling rises in the days ahead, I want you to have a holy protocol, not a rigid ritual, but a grounded response. First is stout. Not forever. Yes, long enough to become present. Panic wants instant reaction. Peace allows a holy pause. Second, breathe deliberately. Your body matters. Your nervous system matters. I made it. Do not ignore it. Breathe as though you are receiving my presence, because you are. Third, name what you are feeling honestly. Say, I feel urgency. Say, I feel fear. Say, I feel pressure. Do not blur them together. Name them separately. Clarity weakens confusion. Fourth, ask me a direct question. Father, what is the next faithful step? Not the whole outcome, just the next step. That question will save you from spiraling. Panic wants the whole map. Faith only needs the next lighted stone. Fifth, away the next faithful step in peace. Not the dramatic step. Not the step that proves the most. Not the step that makes you feel the most in control. The faithful one. Sometimes it will be a call. Sometimes it will be silence. Sometimes it will be rest. Sometimes it will be immediate action. Sometimes it will be waiting 1 more hour instead of forcing the door. You will know the difference more clearly if you practice this. And because you asked for stronger commands and invitations, let me leave this with the kind of firmness your spirit can hold onto. When the countdown starts, come to me, not to panic. When the pressure rises, do not worship the pressure. When the clock in your mind gets loud, do not let it become your master. I am still the Lord of the moment. I am still the Lord of time. I am still the Lord of your future. I am still the one who opens and closes what needs opening and closing. Do not let the intensity of the atmosphere make you forget who is governing the room. Stay close. Stay clear. Stay calm. Stay obedient. Refuse to let fear steal the very moment that was meant to reveal my faithfulness. If you need to, say it out loud. I reject panic. I receive peace. I will not confuse urgency with fear. Say, the countdown belongs to God too. Say, I can move quickly without moving anxiously. Those are not empty words. They are ways of retraining your agreement. They are ways of pulling your soul back under truth. And my child, hear me. If you learn this now, the final stretch will not break you. It will reveal you. It will reveal the steadier version of you I have been building. It will reveal that you can feel the pressure of a holy moment and still remain anchored in me. That is strength. That is maturity. That is the kind of person who can step through a time-sensitive door without dragging chaos into it. So remember this deeply. Do not confuse the pressure of the countdown with the voice of panic. One is a signal that something matters. The other is a trap that tries to make you mishandle it. Choose wisely. Choose peace. Choose me. My child, come closer and listen with your whole heart now, because this is where many people lose in arrival what they protected in waiting. The blessing is near. Yes, it is. The shift is near. The opening is near. The answer is near. The movement you have been sensing is not imagination. The stirring is real. The timing and timing. The atmosphere is changing. But hear me with clarity and tenderness. The blessing is near, but your attention must stay on me. Not on the blessing. Not on the timeline. Not on the open door itself. Not on the reactions of people around you. Not on the fear of losing it. Not on the excitement of finally seeing something move. Me. Keep your eyes on me. Keep your spirit with me. Keep your inner gaze anchored in me. This matters more than you realize, because there is a subtle danger in the final stretch. When you have waited a long time, you can become so hungry for change that the moment change begins, your focus can shift from the giver to the gift without you even noticing. Your prayers can become more about preserving the blessing than deepening the relationship. Your thoughts can become more about managing the opportunity than staying in alignment with my voice. Your heart can become more captivated by what I am doing than by who I am. And I say this not to accuse you, but to protect you. The blessing was never meant to replace the place I hold in your life. The door was never meant to become your compass. The answered prayer was never meant to become your identity. What I give is good, but it is not God. What I release is beautiful, but it is not your source. What I open may bless you, but it cannot shepherd you. Only I can do that. That is why I am speaking so clearly now. The blessing is near, but your attention must stay on me. If your attention drifts, even good things can become distractions. If your attention drifts, what should have deepened your gratitude can quietly awaken your anxiety. If your attention drifts, the open door can become an idol, the opportunity can become pressure, the relationship can become a dependency, the assignment can become performance, the breakthrough can become self-definition. I do not want that for you. I want the blessing to bless you, not own you. I want the door to serve my purpose in your life, not become the thing you revolve around. I want your peace to remain stronger than your excitement. I want your identity to remain rooted in me, not in what has finally begun to move. This is why I have been teaching you hiddenness, surrender, release, forgiveness, and calm. All of it has been to prepare you not only to receive, but to remain anchored after you receive. So hear me plainly. When the blessing comes close, do not stare at it until you lose sight of me. Do not circle it with obsession. Do not check it constantly for reassurance. Do not ask it to tell you who you are. Do not ask it to heal every wound. Do not ask it to quiet every insecurity. Bring all of that to me instead. Let me remain your center. Let me remain your place of regulation. Let me remain your place of identity, clarity, and peace. And because you asked for stronger commands and invitations, hear me now. If the blessing begins to pull your thoughts away from prayer, return immediately. If the open door begins to make you anxious, come back to me immediately. If your mind starts orbiting around outcomes, step away and sit with me. If you notice yourself becoming more focused on what if I lose this, and thank you for your presence, stop and realign. Say, Father, I refuse to let the gift become my God. Say, Father, keep my heart anchored in you. Say, Father, let what you give me draw me closer, not pull me sideways. Those prayers matter. Those prayers protect you. Those prayers keep the blessing in its rightful place. Keep your attention on me, my child. That is how the blessing stays healthy. That is how the next season remains holy. Now let me bring this to the deepest and most beautiful place, because I do not want you to hear this as restriction. I want you to hear it as the secret of lasting joy. When your attention stays on me, the blessing becomes lighter in your hands. It becomes cleaner. It becomes safer. It becomes more enjoyable. It becomes less tangled with fear and less burdened by the need to perform. You stop asking the blessing to prove your worth, and so you can simply receive it. You stop asking the open door to guarantee your future, and so you can simply walk through it in trust. You stop asking the opportunity to heal your identity, and so you can simply steward it with peace. That is the freedom I want for you. That is the way I want you to live in the next season. Not clutching, not striving, not obsessing, not watching every little sign with nervous eyes, but walking with me, breathing with me, talking with me, listening to me, letting me remain the center even while beautiful things unfold around you. That is how the blessing multiplies without mastering you. That is how joy remains. That is how peace stays in the room. And let me say something very tenderly. If I ever need to adjust, delay, redirect, or even remove something in the next season, your soul will remain stable if your attention is still on me. That matters. Because if your attention is on the gift alone, any shift will feel like devastation. But if your attention is on me, even changes can be navigated with trust. That is the deepest protection of all. So receive this not as a warning alone, but as a promise. If you keep your attention on me, I will teach you how to carry what is near. I will teach you how to walk through the open door without losing yourself. I will teach you how to enjoy what I give without being ruled by it. I will teach you how to remain tender, grounded, grateful, and clear. And because you asked for the strongest command and invitation flow, let me leave this with holy directness. Look at me first in the morning before you look at the possibilities. Speak to me before you strategize. Worship before you analyze. Pray before you announce. Return before you react. If the blessing thrills you, thank me. If the blessing scares you, trust me. If the blessing delays, wait with me. If the blessing arrives, receive it with me. Do not separate the gift from the giver. Do not separate the door from the one who opened it. Do not separate the next season from the one who prepared you for it. The blessing is near, my child. But your attention must stay on me. Keep your eyes where peace lives. Keep your heart where life flows. Keep your soul where it has always been safest. With me, my child. As the blessing draws near and your attention remains on me, I invite you into a deeper flow, where what you receive also becomes what you release. Do not let the blessing stop at your hands. Let it move through you like oil poured, like a river that does not run dry. When you give into this work, You are helping my voice reach those still waiting in silence, those who need the very word that steadied you. I have said, whoever refreshes others will themselves be refreshed, and I am faithful to fulfill it in your life. This is not distraction. It is devotion expressed in action, keeping your heart aligned with me even as I increase you. If you feel stirred to give, that stirring is sacred, respond to it. You super thanks. Join in membership, or give through the PayPal link in the description, and keep your heart anchored in me as you do. Act now, and let the blessing flow without obstruction. My child, come even closer now, because I want to speak into the place where you still wonder whether the quiet things mattered. You have had moments, many moments, when you obeyed me and nobody knew. You said no when no one would have found out if you said yes. You stayed when walking away would have been easier. You forgave in private while your pain still burned. You turned off the distraction. You resisted the impulse. You chose restraint. You kept praying. You kept showing up. You kept returning after failure. You kept softening after hurt. You kept listening in silence. You kept believing when there was no applause, no visible movement, no public evidence that anything was changing. Those moments have felt small to you at times. Some of them seemed almost invisible. Some of them felt so ordinary that you wondered whether they really counted. Some of them happened in tears. Some of them happened in weakness. Some of them happened when you did not feel noble, strong, or spiritual at all. But hear me now, and let this settle deeply in you. What happens next will not be random. It will be the reward of hidden obedience. I need you to understand that because your mind has sometimes been tempted to see breakthrough as sudden, doors as accidental, favor as arbitrary, or timing as mysterious in a way that disconnects it from the years of hidden formation. But I do not work that way with you. What is about to unfold is not detached from what you have lived through. It is not disconnected from the unseen yeses. It is not related to the moments you thought no one noticed. The visible shift that is coming is not a random surprise. It is a harvest. It is a response. It is a fruit-bearing season connected to roots that were formed underground. You have whispered yeses in the dark that are now echoing in the light. You have planted seeds with trembling hands that are now nearing bloom. You have built an altar in hidden places, and now fire is coming to it. That is what this is. I want you to see it rightly so that when the door opens, you do not call it luck. When the answer comes, do not call it coincidence. When the path clears, do not call it finally things just happened. No, my child, it is deeper than that. It is sacred. It is the reward of hidden obedience. Every time you chose truth over comfort, something was being built. Every time you chose surrender over control, something was being aligned. Every time you chose prayer over panic, something was being planted. Every time you released what I asked you to release, space was being created. Every time you refused to let bitterness harden you, your future was being protected. Every time you returned to me after wandering, your roots deepened. Every time you listened in silence instead of demanding spectacle, your discernment sharpened. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was lost. Nothing evaporated into the air. I stored it. I used it. I multiplied it. I wove it into timing you could not see. This is why I need you to stop dismissing your quiet faithfulness as not enough. Hidden obedience as weight in heaven. Hidden obedience moves things in realms you cannot see. Hidden obedience trains the soul to carry visible favor without collapsing under it. Hidden obedience is often where real destiny is shaped. And because you asked for stronger commands and invitations, hear me now. Stop talking about your hidden years as though they were empty. Stop calling your unseen obedience nothing. Stop acting like the days nobody clapped were the days that did not matter. Look back with new eyes. Remember the private victories. Remember the temptations you resisted. Remember the moments you chose the harder right thing. Remember the times you kept showing up after disappointment. Remember the times you came back to prayer when you wanted to numb out instead. Those were not filler episodes in your story. Those were foundation stones. Those were sacred deposits. Those were seeds. And now the field is beginning to respond. Do not despise the seed because the tree is just now becoming visible. Honor the process. Honor the hidden yeses. Honor the quiet faithfulness. What happens next is not random. It is connected. It is meaningful. It is the visible language of a hidden history with me. Now let me bring this to the deepest and most beautiful place, because I want you to feel the dignity of what I am saying. The reward of hidden obedience is not merely that you get something. It is that you become someone. Yes, doors may open. Yes, blessings may come. Yes, shifts may happen. Yes, what was once delayed may finally move. But the deepest reward is not external alone. The deepest reward is that the hidden obedience has formed a version of you who can actually carry what is coming without being owned by it. That is the greater miracle. The years of unseen faithfulness did not only prepare the blessing for you, they prepared you for the blessing. The quiet surrender did not only unlock timing, it purified your motives. The private prayers did not only move heaven, they stabilized your inner world. The unseen restraint did not only protect your future, it strengthened your character. The hidden yeses did not only create momentum, they deepened intimacy. That is why I can trust you with more now. That is why I can place weight in your hands without fear of it crushing you. That is why I can bring visibility without losing your soul in it. This is what hidden obedience does. It makes the visible safe. And I need you to hear this with joy, not just seriousness. Heaven has not been indifferent to your quiet faithfulness. Heaven has been recording it. Heaven has been responding to it. Heaven has been aligning around it. The prayers you whispered in the dark were not weak because they were quiet. They were precious. The tears that fell when no one was there were not wasted because they were unseen. They were seed water. The moments you chose me without emotional fireworks were not less holy because they felt ordinary. They were profoundly holy. They were the kind of moments that shape destiny. So now, as you stand this close to the threshold, I want you to receive what comes next with reverence and confidence. Not entitlement, not pride, not fear. Confidence, the clean kind. The kind that says, my Father has been at work all along. The kind that says, what I cannot see yet is still connected to what I obeyed yesterday. The kind that says, I will not despise small obediences because I know what they become. And because you asked for the strongest command and invitation flow, let me leave this in your spirit with unmistakable clarity. Honor your hidden history. Stop belittling the quiet seasons. Stop apologizing for the years that looked ordinary. Stop calling the unseen parts of your story nothing. They were never nothing. They were holy ground. They were seed time. They were root root. They were altar building years. Now lift your head. Receive what is near with humility. Carry it with gratitude. Or attack it with prayer. And when the visible begins to bloom, do not forget what made it possible. Go back in your heart and thank me for the nights nobody saw. Thank me for the doors that stayed shut long enough to deepen you. Thank me for the private battles that built public strength. Thank me for the hidden obediences that are now becoming visible fruit. What happens next, my child, will not be random. It will be the reward of hidden obedience. So do not shrink when it arrives. Do not question whether it belongs to you. Do not call it luck. Receive it as the sacred answer it is. Then walk forward like someone who knows exactly how the harvest was grown. My child, I have walked you all the way to this edge for a reason. I did not bring you through all of this just to stir your emotions. I did not press these words into your spirit just so you could feel something deep and then go back to sleep inside your old hesitations. I did not bring you to the front of the line, hold you in the stillness, steady your breathing, expose your fears, heal your old reactions, remind you of what you survived, show you that the blessing is near, and reveal that what is coming is tied to hidden obedience, only for you to stand here and do nothing. This is your final invitation in this moment. Step forward now. A door was not shown to you so you could admire it. It was shown to you so you could enter. Let that land in you with weight. Because one of the quiet dangers in your life has been this: you have sometimes mistaken recognition for response. You have felt a word and assumed that feeling it was enough. You have sensed truth and assumed that understanding it was the same as surrendering to it. You have been moved in thought movement inside, and motion outside would somehow happen on its own. But it does not work that way, my child. Revelation is not the same as response. Feeling is not the same as obedience. Ears are not the same as transformation. Being stirred is not the same as stepping through. I say that with love, not condemnation, because I want to save you from a very old pattern. There have been seasons where you stood at the threshold and lingered so long in analysis, in emotional processing, in fear, in overthinking, in trying to predict every consequence, that the holy moment slowly turned into a missed moment. Not because I abandoned you. Not because the door was fake. Not because the promise was false. But because hesitation became your hiding place. Delay became your comfort. Reflection became your shield. And while those things can be good in their proper place, they become dangerous when they replace obedience. This is why I am speaking with unusual clarity now. Step forward. Not recklessly. Not arrogantly. Not in self-will, but in trust. Step forward. I am not asking you to understand every corridor beyond the door. I am asking you to trust the one who opened it. I am not asking you to eliminate all emotion before you move. I am asking you to let trust become stronger than hesitation. I am not asking you to never feel fear. I am asking you not to let fear make your decision for you. There is a difference. You are not being called to a performance. You are being called to a response. A real one. A practical one. A lived one. That means if I have been calling you to release something, release it. If I have been calling you to apologize, do it. If I have been calling you to forgive, choose it. If I have been calling you to stop entertaining the thing that keeps draining your spirit, cut it off. If I have been calling you to pray differently, begin tonight. If I have been calling you to return, then return fully. If I have been calling you to stop hovering around the edge of surrender and actually hand me the part you still protect, then do not wait another hour. The door is not symbolic only. It is not just an emotional image. It is embodied in your next act of obedience. That is where it becomes real. That is where destiny touches the ground. And because you asked for stronger commands and invitations, hear me now with all the force of fatherly love. Stop standing at the threshold describing the door. Stop touching the frame and calling that entry. Stop promising yourself you will move soon. Stop calling delay wisdom when it is really fear in polished clothing. Come in. Enter. Act. Assign. Respond. Say yes where you have been half saying maybe. End what I told you to end. Begin what I told you to begin. Put your hand on the latch and move with me. This is not the moment to admire possibility from a safe distance. This is the moment to cross. Now let me bring this to the deepest and final place, because I want this message point to land like a key turning in a lock inside you. This is not only about one decision today. This is about the version of you that will emerge if you stop making the threshold your permanent address. Some people spend years at doors. They learn how to talk about transition. They learn how to recognize signs. They learn how to describe what God is doing. They become fluent in anticipation, but they never enter. They become experts in standing near change while still remaining loyal to the familiar. I do not want that to be your story anymore. I want you to become someone who enters, someone who trusts enough to cross, someone who responds when I speak, someone who knows how to feel the weight of a holy moment and still move through it, someone who does not turn every threshold into a museum of overanalysis, someone who stops calling the edge home. This is the deeper transformation I want for you. I want the threshold mentality to break. I want the chronic hovering to end. I want the part of you that has grown strangely comfortable with almost, nearly, soon, maybe, later, and not yet to lose its authority over your future. Because let me tell you something sacred. You were not created for almost. You were not formed for the hallway. You were not called to spend your life with your hand on the knob, describing what might be behind the door. You were made to enter rooms I prepared for you. You were made to carry peace into new territory. You were made to step into assignments, relationships, healings, restorations, surrenders, and callings that cannot happen while you keep one foot in the old room. There comes a moment when the soul must stop rehearsing and start crossing. This is that kind of moment. So I am asking for your whole heart now. Not your admiration, not your emotion alone, not your temporary intensity. Your response, your embodied yes, your next faithful act. And because you asked for the strongest command and invitation flow, let me end this the way your spirit needs to hear it. Close the old door behind you. Do not keep reaching back to what I told you to leave. Do not drag the old fear into the new room. Do not bring old patterns into fresh mercy. Enter cleanly. Enter humbly. Enter prayerfully. Enter gratefully. Enter now. If you need to kneel, kneel. If you need to whisper, whisper. If you need to delete, delete. If you need to call, call. If you need to confess, confess. If you need to forgive, forgive. If you need to stop, stop. If you need to begin, begin. Let your yes become visible. Let your surrender become concrete. Let this not be one more powerful moment you remember but do not obey. Let this be the moment the direction of your life actually bends. My child, I have brought you to the front of the line. I have steadied your heart. I have spoken into your fear. I have shown you that the blessing is near and that what comes next is tied to hidden obedience. I have not done all of that so you can stand here admiring the threshold. Step forward now, because the door was not shown to you so you could admire it, but so you could enter. My child, you have reached the threshold, and I have told you to step forward. Now let that step become real in every area, including how you respond to this moment. Do not admire what I am doing from a distance when I am inviting you to participate in it. This message is not only a door for you, it is a door for countless others, and your obedience can help hold it open. When you give, you are laying oil into the lamp so my light continues to burn brightly for those still searching. I speak to you even now. What you place in my hands, I will multiply and return in ways you cannot predict. If your heart is moved, that is your signal. Do not delay, do not overthink, do not retreat. Step forward through Super Thanks membership or the PayPal link in the description and make your yes visible. Enter fully, act boldly, and let this moment mark the turning point where you no longer stand at the door. You walk through it with me. And once you have taken that step, allow your heart to settle for a moment. Crossing the threshold is not only about movement, it is about allowing me to meet you on the other side. What you have responded to has already shifted something within you, opening space for my presence to reach deeper. This is where action becomes encounter, where your yes makes room for my voice to speak more personally. So pause and listen closely, because I am not distant from your journey. I am fully aware of everything you carry. My child, listen to me closely today. I am speaking directly to your heart right now. You have been waiting for a very long time, and I know exactly how heavy that weight has felt. I see the deep fear of the future that keeps you awake at night. I see the overwhelming pressure at your job, the heavy weight you carry on your shoulders every single day. I know about the unspoken tensions in your family, the quiet arguments, and the distance that breaks your heart. I see how you feel completely overlooked, pushed to the side, and forgotten by the people around you. But I have not forgotten you. You are my precious one, and I am telling you today that you have entered the 2-minute warning of your season of waiting. The countdown has begun, and you are first in line for the breakthrough I have prepared for you. Pause now. Take a deep, slow breath. Do you feel that tight knot in your stomach? Do you feel that heavy anxiety pressing down on your chest? That fear does not come from me. Let us undo that knot together right now. Release your grip on the worries of tomorrow and let my peace wash over you. Imagine the heavy, quiet pause just before a massive storm breaks. The wind stops, the air grows still, and you can feel the electricity in the sky. That is exactly where you are standing in your life right now. The atmosphere is shifting, and the heavy rain of my blessing is about to fall. The wait hath been painfully long, but the end will be sudden and swift. You have endured years of silent tears, but your joy will arrive in a single, powerful moment. I am turning your long night into a bright, beautiful morning. For so long, you have lived the mystery of the last shall be first. You have watched others pass you by. You have seen people with less faith and less effort get the very things you have been praying for. You felt stuck at the back of the line, wondering if I had skipped your turn. But my timing is not like human timing. I was not ignoring you. I was preparing you. I was using the delay to build your strength, to deepen your roots, and to make your spirit unshakable. And now, I am flipping the order. I am pulling you from the back of the line and placing you at the very front. You are next, my beloved. My favor is falling on you. I want you to align your heartbeat with the rhythm of heaven. Place your hand on your heart. Feel it beating. Every pulse is a reminder of my love for you, a love that is steady, strong, and sure. I chose this specific moment for your breakthrough because you are finally ready to carry the weight of the blessing. If I had given it to you earlier, it would have crushed you. But now, your hands are strong enough to hold the gift. Your spirit is mature enough to manage the overflow. Your faith has been tested in the fire, and it has come out as pure gold. Let your soul be still as the final seconds tick away. Do not rush. Do not panic. Do not try to force a door open with your own human strength. You do not need to fight for a seat at the table anymore, because I have already reserved the head chair for you. Stand firm, my child. Breathe in my presence. Feel my love wrapping around you like a warm, protective blanket against the cold wind. You are safe in my arms. The countdown is almost over. The waiting room is closing. You are stepping into the reality of my promise. Trust me, lean on me, and watch what I will do for you in these final moments. Stand up tall right now, my child. Lift your head and look directly at me. I see the invisible weight pulling your shoulders down. I know exactly how deeply the sting of rejection burns in your chest. You have spent years hiding in the shadows, believing you were not good enough. You watched colleagues get the promotion you worked so hard for, while you were left behind. You felt the sharp pain when family members misunderstood you, criticized your choices, or completely brushed your feelings aside. You convinced yourself that the back of the line was your permanent home. Take off that heavy, dirty coat of rejection today. Drop the back of the line mentality right on the floor. It does not belong to you anymore. I am calling you to the front. I am moving you past every single person who overlooked you, every voice that mocked your dreams, and every unfair system that tried to keep you stuck. Imagine you are sitting trapped in a cold, dark cellar. You can't see a thing. You're shivering from the damp chill of isolation and fear. Then, suddenly, a door swings wide open, and brilliant, warm sunlight floods your face, warming your skin and blinding the darkness. That is exactly what I am doing for your life right now. Step out of the shadows. Walk confidently into the warmth of my favor. Your faithfulness in the secret places has not gone unnoticed by me. I saw you praying when no one else was looking. I saw you crying on the floor of your bedroom when you thought you had no strength left to face the morning. I saw you giving your absolute best at the job, even when your boss took the credit for your hard work. You thought those quiet moments of suffering were wasted, but they were the very seeds of your upcoming promotion. Now, I am rewarding you publicly for what you endured privately. Do not shrink back in fear. Do not let the voice of doubt whisper that you do not belong here. You belong at the very front because I have placed you there. Claim your seat at the table I have carefully prepared for you. Look at the magnificent feast of blessings spread out before you. There is deep peace for your anxious, racing mind. There is solid provision for your empty bank account and your mounting bills. There is overflowing joy to replace your long, heavy sorrow. I am inviting you to sit down and rest. Stop trying to earn a place that I have already given you as a free gift. The days of begging for scraps of attention, validation, and love are over. Look into the faces of those who doubted you. You do not need to prove anything to them. My blessing on your life will do all the talking. The endless arguments and unspoken tensions in your family will fade away when they see the undeniable peace resting upon you. You have been the peacemaker, the one absorbing the anger and the tension, and now I am giving you a harvest of true harmony. Accept this honor. Do not apologize for the grace I am pouring over your head. You are a child of the Most High King. Square your shoulders. Breathe in the confidence of my spirit. Prepare your heart to receive the honor I am placing on your life. The line has shifted. The order has changed, and you are exactly where I want you to be. You are first, my beloved. Brace yourself for the rapid change that is coming to your reality. I am a God of careful process, yes, but I am also the God of the sudden breakthrough. Read my word and see how the Holy Spirit fell suddenly in the book of Acts. See how thick iron prison doors swung open in a fraction of a second. That same sudden, explosive power is rushing into your life right now. I know you are exhausted from the slow, agonizing crawl through your daily struggles. You feel like you have been pushing a massive, heavy boulder up a steep hill for years, slipping back 2 steps for every 1 step forward. Stop pushing. Take your hands off the boulder. Step back and watch what I will do in the blink of an eye. One single moment of my grace can completely erase years of pain, mountains of debt, and oceans of sorrow. Do you understand the sheer velocity of my divine restoration? Human logic tells you that it takes 10 years to rebuild a life that was broken in a day. The world tells you that your financial recovery and your emotional healing will be a slow, painful climb. But I operate completely outside the limits of human time. I am accelerating your healing. I am speeding up your breakthrough. I am fast-tracking your deliverance. Prepare your mind for a rapid change of scenery. The heavy gray clouds of anxiety that have hovered over your house, suffocating your joy, are breaking apart right now. The warm, bright sun of my favor is shining directly on your face. Look at the mountains of worry in your life. I am leveling them to the ground. Your neighbors, your coworkers, and your friends will watch your life, and they will marvel at your quick rise. They will ask, how did this happen so fast? How did you go from the bottom to the top overnight? And you will smile, point to the heavens, and tell them about my sudden grace. You will be a walking, breathing testimony of my supernatural speed. Do you remember the sleepless nights worrying about your job security and your family's future? Suddenly, new doors of opportunity will fling wide open. The physical exhaustion and the mental fog that have plagued your body will suddenly lift, replaced by a surge of vibrant, divine energy. I am injecting fresh life into your weary bones. Trust the hand that moves faster than your eyes can see. When the breakthrough happens, do not let panic trick you into thinking it is too good to be true. Do not sabotage your own success out of a lifelong habit of expecting the worst. I command you to drop your fear of the future right now. The suddenness of my blessing will shock you, but it is real, and it is permanent. I am turning the page of your life so quickly that the wind will catch your breath. Get ready to run. Get ready to soar high above the storm. The long, drawn-out days of just barely surviving are finished. The season of sudden, overwhelming abundance is here. Open your hands wide. Catch the blessings that are falling like heavy rain upon your dry ground. Receive the double portion I have reserved especially for you. I am placing the sacred anointing of the firstborn upon your life today. In my kingdom, the firstborn receives a double share of the inheritance, a double measure of authority, and a double portion of blessing. I am not just giving you enough to barely survive the week. I am giving you more than enough, an overflow that will spill into the laps of your children and your children's children. But listen to me carefully. With this great blessing comes a great and beautiful responsibility. You are the pioneer for your family's destiny. You are the one I have chosen to break the thick, heavy chains of generational delay, sickness, and poverty. Look back at the history of your bloodline. You have seen the painful patterns of failure, the cycles of addiction, the quiet, heavy despair that passed from your grandparents to your parents, and then tried to attach itself to your own mind. I say to you today, the cycle stops right here. The curse ends with you. You are the designated chain breaker. I have given you the spiritual authority to say no more. Speak it out loud right now. Command the forces of delay to release their tight grip on your family. I am sealing your current endeavors with my divine approval. The projects you touch will prosper. The applications you submit will be moved to the very top of the pile. Walk in the bold, unshakable confidence of a child of the Heavenly King. Stop apologizing for taking up space in the room. Stop making yourself small so that insecure people around you can feel comfortable. I did not create you to shrink into the background. I created you to shine brightly. Right now, you are like a Ferrari driving with the handbrake on. You are powerful, but you are self-limiting. Reach down and release that handbrake today. Step on the gas and move forward into the massive destiny I have planned for you. Do not let the enemy whisper that you are unqualified or unworthy of this double portion. I am the one who qualifies the called. I am the one who washes you clean and dresses you in royal robes of righteousness. I know how exhausting it has been to fight this battle feeling entirely alone. I know you have felt like the black sheep of your family, misunderstood because you refused to settle for the brokenness that everyone else accepted as normal. Your refusal to settle was my spirit stirring deep within you. Your dissatisfaction with the mundane was my voice calling you higher. Today, I validate your struggle. I wipe away the tears you shed when your loved ones criticize your faith. They will soon eat from the fruit of the tree you have so patiently watered with your tears. Step into this anointing with gratitude. Lift your hands and accept the weight of this glorious crown. Close the door on your past right now. The long, agonizing chapter of your wandering and your lack is officially over. For years, you have walked through a dry, barren, and exhausting wilderness. You know the harsh, burning heat of financial panic when the bills pile up. You know the deep, agonizing thirst of loneliness when your phone stays silent and your heart aches for a true, understanding friend. You have walked in circles, wondering if you took a wrong turn, wondering if I had abandoned you in the sand to fend for yourself. But hear my voice today. The desert was your classroom, not your graveyard. I did not send you into the wilderness to break you. I sent you there to strip away your reliance on broken worldly systems and teach you how to lean entirely on me. Look down at your feet. I want you to symbolically wipe the dust of your past disappointments off your shoes. Wash the dirt of failure and rejection from your hands. That dust does not belong in your new season. You are crossing the border into the promised land. Visualize the lush, green valleys of your new life. See the rivers of fresh, cool water cutting through the dry ground of your circumstances. Smell the sweet fragrance of blooming opportunities. I am replacing your season of not yet with the powerful season of right now. Leave behind the negative whispers that have haunted your mind in the quiet hours of the night. The enemy has tried to convince you that you are permanently damaged, that your past mistakes have disqualified you, and that you will always struggle just to keep your head above water. That is a toxic lie. I am silencing the voice of the accuser. I command you to stop entertaining those dark thoughts. When fear knocks loudly on the door of your mind, do not let it in. Tell it that your Heavenly Father has already paid the price and there is no room for anxiety in your house. Think about the intense stress that has plagued your career, the dead-end jobs, the toxic managers, the constant feeling of being trapped. That was your Egypt, and you are no longer a slave to those systems. You are standing at the edge of your Jordan River. The water may look deep, and the current of change may look frighteningly strong, but I command you to step forward. Cross your Jordan with bold, dry footsteps. Do not hesitate. Do not look back at the wilderness with longing or regret. There is absolutely nothing left for you in the dry places. The manna that fed you yesterday will not sustain you tomorrow, because I am preparing a massive feast of solid, rich food for your future. Walk out of the barrenness. Step onto the fertile, soft soil of my promises. Your days of surviving on the bare minimum are completely finished. I am leading you to a place of overflowing wells and heavy harvests. Breathe in the fresh air of your new beginning. I am with you. I am holding your hand tightly, and together, we are walking out of the wilderness forever. You have just walked out of the dry, barren wilderness, and now I am calling you to become a flourishing tree that provides shade to all who seek my presence. I intend to use you to bless many, to speak of love to your family, and to extend your hand to aid the suffering. Your support carries this living water directly to thirsty souls who are still trapped in the dark desert of their own anxiety. Plant your seed in this fertile, new soil of the promised land, and watch a massive harvest rise to feed the broken. I declare over you right now, give, and it shall be given unto you. A good measure, pressed down, and running over, I will pour directly into your lap. The countdown is at its final, critical moments. Sow your seed of faith right now through a super thanks, a membership, or the PayPal link below, and I will multiply your resources 100-fold. Step out of the barren dust, click the link in the description, and plant your absolute victory today. My precious child, do not close this out or walk away now. If you choose to pull away from my voice right at this exact moment, you wound my deep love for you. I am in the middle of handing you the very keys to your freedom, and to stop listening now would shatter the divine momentum we are building together. Could you spare me just a moment to hear my words completely? Stay here with me. Do not let the enemy steal this sacred connection. Keep listening, because the very next words I speak will change your life forever. Understand this profound truth deep within your soul. My favor is a free gift, not a wage you have to earn. You have spent so much of your life working yourself to the bone, desperately trying to prove your worth to people who refuse to see your value. You have exhausted your mind and your body, running endlessly on the hamster wheel of performance. You hoped that if you just worked a little harder, your boss would finally respect you. You hoped that if you were just a little more perfect, your family would finally validate you, and I would finally bless you. Stop striving right now. Drop the heavy, crushing burden of perfectionism. I do not love you because of what you do, I love you because of who you are. You are my precious child, and I have set my affections specifically and intentionally on you. Why you? Because I chose you before the foundation of the earth was even laid. Because when I look at you, I do not see your flaws, your past mistakes, or the times you lost your temper under pressure. I see the pure righteousness of my son. I see a beautiful, capable, and deeply cherished soul. I am giving you the rare gift of divine preference. When you walk up to closed doors, doors of career advancement, doors of financial funding, doors of relational healing, they will swing wide open for you. Not because of your perfectly polished resume, but because I am standing right behind you, whispering yes. And when the creator of the universe says yes, no human being on earth, no demon in hell, and no unfair corporate system can ever say no. Respond to this incredible grace with a heart of pure, authentic worship. I do not want your stiff religious rituals. I want your real, raw relationship. Talk to me naturally throughout your day. Tell me about the pressure you face at your job. Tell me about the silent fears you harbor for your children's future. Let me carry those heavy bags for you. I want you to look in the mirror every single morning and see yourself exactly the way I see you. You are not a failure. You are not a disappointment. You are a masterpiece, intricately designed and deeply loved. The profound beauty of being selected by me is that you no longer have to compete with anyone else. You can genuinely celebrate the success of your peers because you know with absolute certainty that your portion is secured. You do not have to fight for scraps under the table when you are an honored, seated guest at my banquet. Embrace this divine preference. Let it melt away the harsh, critical voice inside your head that constantly tells you that you are not doing enough. When the world tries to tell you that you are average, remind them that you are handpicked by Almighty God. You are stepping into a season where my favor will surround you like a thick, impenetrable shield. Rest in the absolute certainty that you are preferred, you are chosen, and you are unconditionally loved by me. Quiet your mind right now, my child. I command the loud, swirling tumult around you to completely cease. You are standing in the most crucial moment of your journey, and this is the time for profound spiritual stillness. Think about the heavy, electric silence that falls over the earth just before a massive clap of thunder shakes the ground. The wind dies down, the birds stop singing, and the air grows completely still. That is the exact spiritual atmosphere of your life in these final 2 minutes. The miracle is hovering right above you, ready to break open. But before the shout of victory leaves your lips, I need you to embrace this sacred silence. I know how loud the world has been lately. I hear the constant, exhausting noise of your mocking coworkers, the subtle, passive-aggressive comments from your relatives at family dinners, and the terrifying, blaring alarms of your own internal anxiety. They constantly ask you when your life is going to get better. They look at your struggles and they judge you. Tune out their noise completely. Their words hold no power over your destiny. Guard your words very carefully as the promise nears your doorstep. Do not speak defeat into the atmosphere when confusion clouds your mind. When you feel the intense pressure of your job pushing you to the breaking point, do not open your mouth and declare that you are going to fail. Do not let the enemy trick you into cursing your own future right before the blessing arrives. Instead, let your words be few, and let them be filled with absolute faith. Close your eyes right now. Do you hear it? It is my whisper in the silence, calling you to step forward. I am inviting you to deepen your intimacy with me in these final seconds of the countdown. When you go to your room and kneel by your bed to talk to me in prayer, I am right there with you. I am not distant. I am not distracted by the vastness of the universe. I am sitting quietly in the room with you, listening to the heavy beating of your heart. Find your ultimate strength in this spiritual stillness. When you do not know what to say, simply sit in my presence and let my love wrap tightly around your exhausted soul. The world tells you that you have to hustle, shout, and fight to get noticed. The world tells you that the loudest person in the room wins the prize. But my kingdom operates on a completely different frequency. Your quiet, steadfast trust is the loudest shout of faith you could ever make. It echoes through the halls of heaven. Listen very closely. Past the noise of your unpaid bills, past the echoes of your past failures, can you hear the distant rumble? It is the sound of the abundance of rain. The dry spell is completely over, and the time of reaping your massive harvest begins. Do not break the silence with complaining. Do not let the temporary delay push you into panic. Stay anchored. Stay incredibly still. Your long night of weeping is ending, and the shout of your tremendous joy is already forming in your throat. Hand over your deepest regrets to me right now. I know the exact arithmetic of your pain. I see how you look back at your life and calculate the years you feel you have completely wasted. You mourn the years stolen by deep depression, the decades lost to toxic relationships that drained your spirit, and the endless seasons spent in dead-end jobs that paid you less than you were worth. You look at your age and you feel a cold panic, believing that it is simply too late to achieve your biggest dreams. Stop counting the lost days. I am the creator of time, and I am not bound by the calendar on your wall. I am stepping in today to restore what is rightfully yours. I promise to restore every single thing that the locusts of hardship, sickness, and delay have eaten away from your life. Understand the magnificent math of heaven. While the world slowly adds to its wealth penny by penny, I operate through the explosive power of divine multiplication. I do not just give you back what you lost, I multiply it. Because you are positioned first in line, your new status comes with a massive spiritual back pay. All those years you worked tirelessly behind the scenes with zero recognition. I kept a strict, accurate record. Every tear you cried in secret, every time you chose to forgive someone who deeply hurt you, every time you gave your last dollar to someone in need while you were struggling yourself, I saw it all. And now, I am releasing the accumulated interest of your faithfulness directly into your hands. Let me gently heal the deep, aching scars of your long-term waiting. I know the waiting has left you bruised. I know hope deferred has made your heart violently sick. You have built thick defensive walls around your heart because you are terrified of being disappointed one more time. Let those walls crash down today. Do not be afraid to hope again. Joy is returning to your house like a massive, unstoppable flood in the morning. The heavy, dark curtains of sorrow are being pulled back, and the brilliant light of my favor is pouring into your living room. The wealth of the wicked, the resources that have been hoarded by unfair systems and unjust people, are being routed into your hands so that you can fund the dreams I placed in your spirit. You are stepping into a season where one day of my favor will produce more fruit than 10 years of your own exhausting labor. The promotions, the divine connections, and the financial breakthroughs that seemed light years away are suddenly colliding with your present reality. Do not weep for the past anymore. The past is a closed chapter. Look eagerly to the horizon. Your future is so incredibly bright, so heavily saturated with my goodness, that the memory of your stolen years will completely fade away. Accept this total restoration. Open your arms and receive the multiplied blessings I am pouring out upon you today. Watch closely as the thick, iron barriers in your life dissolve completely before your very eyes. You have stood outside locked doors for so long, rattling the handles, begging the people inside to just give you a chance. You felt the stinging rejection when they told you that your resume was not impressive enough, that your background was not right, or that you simply did not have the correct keys to enter their exclusive rooms. Listen to my voice. You do not need their keys. I am the master key. I am personally walking you into rooms that you did not have the worldly qualifications to enter. When I decide to open a door for you, no human manager, no bank executive, and no jealous relative can ever shut it. Step through these open gates with the fierce, bold courage of a lion. Do not walk into your new opportunities with a timid, apologizing posture. You belong in those high-level rooms because I have specifically ordained your presence there. Prepare yourself for a sudden, massive influx of divine connections. I am going to bring trustworthy people into your life, people who genuinely believe in you, who will stand firmly by your side, and who will eagerly assist you in reaching your goals. You have been surrounded by people who drained your energy and mocked your ambition, but I am removing them from your path. I am replacing them with mentors, advocates, and kingdom helpers who carry the exact resources you need. Pay close attention to your daily surroundings. You are going to start seeing burning bushes right in the middle of your ordinary path. What looks like a random conversation at the grocery store will turn into a massive business opportunity. What looks like a routine phone call will carry the news of your total financial breakthrough. I am weaving the supernatural directly into the fabric of your normal Tuesday afternoons. Do not brush off these moments as mere coincidences. They are highly calculated, divine appointments arranged by my own hand. I am orchestrating the entire universe to move in your favor. Drop the heavy baggage of your imposter syndrome right now. When you sit at the head of the table, the enemy will try to whisper that a mistake has been made, that you will soon be found out and sent back to the bottom. Rebuke that lie instantly. You are not an imposter. You are an heir to my throne. Your talents and gifts are on the verge of blooming beautifully. Do not seek out obstacles where I have cleared the path. Do not let doubt wither your faith just as the gates swing wide. Walk confidently through the doorway of your new career, your new relationships, and your newly mended health. The gates of opportunity are locked open, and the pathway is covered in the brilliant light of my unconditional love. Walk forward and claim your territory. Rise up and use the authority I have placed inside you. We are breaking the heavy, suffocating spirit of delay over your life today. I know the intense frustration of living under the almost curse. You know the feeling all too well. You almost got the house. You almost got the loan approved. Your family almost experienced a breakthrough, but at the very last second, everything violently fell apart. You have lived on the frustrating edge of victory for years, watching the prize get snatched away just as your fingers brushed against it. I am telling you today that the cycle of almost is permanently shattered. I am rebuking the invisible forces that have aggressively held back your answers. A fierce battle is waged in the celestial realm over your destiny, because the adversary desires to see you grovel and does not wish for your triumph. But hear this truth and let it anchor your soul. My mighty legions fight for you in the heavens against the forces of evil. I have released powerful angels of breakthrough carrying the exact keys to your freedom. The intense resistance you have felt recently, the sudden wave of unexpected expenses, the sudden flare-up of arguments in your home, these are not signs that you are failing. They are the absolute proof that you are standing on the very edge of your greatest victory. The enemy always fights the hardest right before the finish line. He is trying to exhaust you so that you will drop your sword and surrender in the final 2 minutes. Do not give him that satisfaction. Declare your total freedom right now. Open your mouth and speak out loud. I am free from the chains of stagnation. My life is moving forward with divine speed. Shatter the heavy chains that have kept your finances frozen and your relationships strained. I am introducing a brand new dimension of spiritual speed into your daily reality. What used to take you 12 grueling months to accomplish will suddenly be completed in a single week. The slow, painful crawl through the mud is over. I am putting holy momentum under your feet. Do not let your past experiences dictate your future expectations. Just because you faced 100 closed doors yesterday does not mean you will face one today. The spiritual atmosphere over your house has completely shifted. The heavy, dark clouds of delay have been blown away by the rushing wind of my Holy Spirit. I am the God who makes crooked paths straight and rough places smooth. I am clearing the heavy traffic of opposition out of your way. Step on the accelerator of your faith. Move forward boldly, knowing that the road ahead is wide open, completely clear, and paved with the solid gold of my absolute promises. Your time of waiting is officially, entirely, and forever finished. The heavy chains of delay are completely shattered, and I am releasing a sudden, unstoppable momentum into your hands. Partner with me in this exact moment, for I am looking for willing vessels to carry this fiery breakthrough to the absolute ends of the earth. When you support this mission, you are actively dispatching my angels of deliverance to rescue hearts that are still suffocating under the almost curse. Pour your holy oil onto this blazing fire to spread my word, and I will ensure your own lamp never runs dry. I declare over your life, he who refreshes others will himself be continually refreshed. This is your divine appointment to permanently break the cycle of poverty. As you give through super thanks, membership, or PayPal today, I will command an explosive, rapid overflow in your own finances. Do not hesitate as the final seconds tick away. Use the link in the description right now and fund the massive harvest. Are you still with me? Do not let your attention drift to the empty, misleading distractions of the world. It deeply grieves my heart when you cry out for a massive miracle, but cannot spare a few more minutes to hear how I will deliver it. I am not just speaking empty words. I am actively transferring supernatural power into your weary soul right now. Stay incredibly focused. If you leave now, you are leaving your ultimate victory lying on the table. Keep leaning in, because there is a greater blessing in store for you further down this road. Look at yourself through my eyes right now. Shed the cruel, limiting labels that the world has violently slapped onto your forehead. You have walked through life carrying names that I never gave you. Society labeled you unqualified. Your past mistakes labeled you a failure. Toxic people from your past labeled you unlovable, too emotional, or not enough. You have worn the heavy name forgotten for so long that you started to believe it was your true identity. Take off those filthy, heavy rags right this second. I am stripping away every single negative word spoken over your life. I am giving you a brand new name today. From this moment forward, your name in heaven and on earth is favored. Embrace the powerful identity of an absolute winner in Christ. When I look at you, I do not see the horrible mistakes you made 10 years ago. I do not see the times you completely lost your temper under crushing pressure. I do not see your failures. I see your breathtaking future. I see the pure, spotless righteousness of my Son covering you completely. You are not defined by the worst moment of your past. You are defined by the greatest victory of my cross. I am giving you a magnificent crown of beauty to replace the bitter ashes of your burnt dreams and ruined plans. Lift your head high and let me place this crown upon you. Wear your new robe of righteousness with absolute dignity. Do not slouch in the presence of those who remember your old struggles. When they try to remind you of who you used to be, gently remind them of who I have transformed you into. You are stepping into a season where your private, tear-soaked struggles will become a powerful, public testimony of my saving grace. The very things that brought you the deepest shame, the bankruptcy, the divorce, the silent battle with deep depression, will become the exact platform I use to elevate you. You will stand before others, radiant and completely cleared of any lingering negativity, and you will tell them how I pulled you out of the deepest, darkest pit. I clothe you in robes of honor not to put down your brothers or sisters, but to show them a living, breathing example of my restorative power. You are my masterpiece, my greatest creation. Let this new identity sink deep into your bones. You are no longer a victim of your circumstances. You are the victorious ruler of your domain. You are no longer the anxious employee terrified of layoffs. You are a deeply valued leader carrying divine wisdom. You are no longer the lonely, rejected soul. You are deeply cherished, entirely known, and fiercely protected by the Creator of the universe. Walk out of your front door today carrying the unshakable weight of this new, glorious identity. Let us talk about the heavy tears you have cried, my child. I have seen every single one of them. You thought those tears were just signs of your weakness, moments where the intense pressure of your job and the silent tension in your family finally broke your resolve. You wiped them away quickly, hoping no one would notice your pain. But I noticed. I collected every tear. I want you to understand that your tears were not wasted water. They were powerful seeds. You were planting seeds in the dark, cold soil of your struggle. You watered the ground of your future when you kept praying for that wayward child, even when nothing changed in their behavior. You watered the ground when you submitted that 100th job application, even after facing 99 brutal rejections. The dry spell is over, and the time of reaping begins. Look out at the field of your life right now. The freezing, barren winter is completely gone. You have endured the law of sowing and reaping in its most painful stage, the silent waiting stage. You know the exhausting physical ache of laboring in a field that seems completely dead. You know the heavy toll of waking up early, working late, and giving your absolute best to a company or a relationship that gave you absolutely nothing in return. I see how deeply weary your soul is. You wanted to quit so many times. You laid in your bed, staring at the ceiling, and whispered that you simply could not go on anymore. But you stayed. You held onto your faith with tired, trembling hands. You persevered until the end, and today I send clouds laden with a special rain. Now, open your hands wide. I am inviting you to eat the sweet, rich fruit of your intense labor. The harvest you are about to step into is not a small, meager crop. It is an overwhelming, massive abundance. The time to gather your rewards is close at hand. Step out and sense the fragrance of a field ripe and ready. You will collect the heavy sheaves of blessing with loud songs of joy. You will see the tangible, physical results of those long midnight prayers you thought went unanswered. The heavy financial debt that squeezed the breath out of your lungs is being cleared. The broken relationship that kept a tight knot in your stomach is being beautifully mended. I am rewarding your stubborn, beautiful persistence. You stayed planted in my love when every logical circumstance around you urged you to run away. Therefore you are set to succeed. I will elevate you and eliminate all lack and need from your life. Breathe in the sweet smell of your absolute victory. Taste the goodness of the answers you have waited so long to see. Feel the solid reality of my promises finally taking shape in your everyday life. I command you to stop looking at the empty baskets of your past. Look at the overflowing storehouses I am opening for you today. You will not just have enough for yourself, you will have enough to feed everyone connected to you. Rejoice today, my beloved. Your season of weeping is permanently closed, and your endless season of joyful reaping has officially begun. Listen to me carefully, because I know exactly what your anxious mind is doing right now. As you hear these promises of massive blessing, a dark, familiar fear is creeping into your thoughts. You are terrified of losing what I am about to give you. You have lived in a state of survival for so long that you constantly wait for the other shoe to drop. You ask yourself, what if this financial breakthrough is only temporary? What if my family's peace is shattered by another sudden crisis? What if the enemy steals this promotion just like he stole the last one? Stop listening to that toxic, paralyzing fear. I command you to evict that anxiety from your mind immediately. I am not a careless father who gives a precious gift only to watch it get snatched out of your hands. I am placing a supernatural, impenetrable wall of divine security around your new shift. I am watching over you, your family, your home, and your job. Step confidently into the secret place of my presence. I am building a towering hedge of blazing fire around your family, your finances, and your health. The enemy cannot cross that fire. The co-workers who secretly scheme to undermine your success cannot penetrate my shield. The terrifying medical reports that try to threaten your peace of mind will be entirely blocked by my powerful hand. When I give you a massive blessing, I also give you the grace and the absolute protection to keep it. The thief comes only to steal, kill, and destroy, but I have already defeated the thief on your behalf. No weapon formed against your new season will ever prosper. No enemy shall harm you. I want you to sleep deeply and peacefully tonight. I want you to wake up tomorrow morning without that heavy, familiar knot of dread twisting in your stomach. The security I offer is not like the fragile, fading security of this world. The world tells you to rely on a fluctuating stock market, a fickle boss, or a temporary government policy. But I am telling you to anchor your entire life on the solid foundation of my eternal word. When you base your life on my teachings, you are building your house on solid, immovable rock. When the storms of life inevitably blow, and the high winds of global panic howl around you, your house will not even shake. Build your life on the solid rock that is Christ Jesus. Remember always that I am your ultimate source. Your job is just a channel. I am the vast, unending ocean of your provision. If one channel dries up, I simply open a bigger, wider river to flood your life with my goodness. Do not place your trust in human beings, because they can all fail you. Place your complete, unshakable trust in me. I am standing guard over your mind, protecting you from the exhausting, dizzying spiral of overthinking. I am standing guard over your heart, shielding it from the sharp, venomous blades of betrayal. You are completely safe. You are held tightly in my strong, capable hands. Breathe out your worry right now. Inhale my perfect, guarding peace. Your blessing is permanently secured, and absolutely nothing can take it away from you. Look straight ahead and do not turn to the left or the right. I am addressing the painful memories of the people who openly doubted you, the ones who scoffed at your big dreams and mocked your unwavering faith. I know exactly how much their harsh words stung your heart. You remember the sarcastic comments from your relatives at the holiday dinner table. You remember the passive-aggressive emails from the coworkers who tried to make you look foolish in front of your boss. You remember the friends who slowly walked away when your life got difficult, whispering behind your back that you would never recover from your setbacks. You wanted so badly to defend yourself. You wanted to argue with them, to scream that they were wrong, to prove your worth with your loud words. I command you to remain completely silent. Let the massive, undeniable fruit of your new life be your absolute, unshakable defense. I specifically chose to bless you directly in the presence of your enemies. I am setting up a grand, beautiful feast of blessings for you, right in front of the adversaries who tried to starve you. I want them to watch as I pour the finest oil over your head. I want them to see your cup overflowing onto the table. I am doing this not to make you arrogant, but to publicly vindicate your quiet, steadfast faith. Those who ridiculed you will end up amazed and embarrassed. They will watch as you ascend to heights they cannot even comprehend. Their mouths will fall open in sheer disbelief when they see the absolute, radiant transformation of your life. The very people who said your business would fail will come asking you for a job. The very people who said your marriage was permanently broken will come asking you for relationship advice. The scoffers will be completely silenced by the overwhelming weight of my favor upon you. I am taking every single no you received from human hands and transforming it into a glorious, heavenly yes. They rejected your application, but I am handing you the entire company. They denied your request, but I am giving you the authority to write your own rules. Watch how I completely flip the script of your life. But as I lift you higher and higher, I invite you to stay deeply grounded in true humility. Do not let the sudden elevation poison your spirit with toxic pride. Do not look down on those who doubted you with anger or spite. When they come to you, confused by your sudden rise, extend the exact same grace to them that I have so freely extended to you. Forgive those who pursue you and those who threaten you. Keep your heart incredibly soft and your spirit completely dependent on me. Give all the immense glory back to your Heavenly Father. When the world praises your brilliant mind, point them directly to my divine wisdom. When they admire your sudden wealth, point them to my endless provision. Your victory is not a monument to your own hustle. It is a radiant, living billboard of my redeeming love. Let them look at your restored, vibrant, successful life and realize that I handle the impossible. Stand tall, my beloved child. The exhausting debate is officially over. The scoffers have lost their loud voices, and your beautiful, undeniable results are doing all the talking. Open your hands and receive the specific, divine wisdom I am pouring out for this brand new season of your life. You are stepping into a massive overflow, and managing true abundance requires a completely different mindset than surviving in a brutal famine. I know you are used to carefully counting every single penny, stretching every dollar just to make it to the end of the month. You are used to rationing your energy because you were always running on empty. But I am moving you into a place where the resources will constantly overflow your banks. I will provide you with wisdom to value and treasure your blessings. You must ask me daily for the sharp, clear discernment needed to correctly manage this incredible surplus. Do not fall into the dangerous, hidden traps of pride and self-sufficiency. When your bank account is totally full, when your career is soaring, and when your family is thriving, it is dangerously easy to think that your own cleverness secured this wealth. I command you to stay intimately connected to my voice. Do not let the comfort of your new position make your daily prayer life grow cold. Seek my face far more passionately than you seek my hand. I am the giver, and the giver is infinitely more valuable than the gift. Do not let the bright, shiny distractions of your new success pull you away from the quiet, secret place where our relationship was forged in the dark. Come back to me daily, even though you're strong and courageous. I am calling you to be a remarkably wise steward of this first-place position. I did not elevate you so you could build a taller fence to hide behind. I elevated you so you could build a longer table to feed others. Stay highly sensitive to the gentle, nudging whispers of the Holy Spirit. When I prompt you to give an unexpectedly large gift to someone in need, do not hesitate or calculate the cost. Obey me instantly. Your radical generosity will keep the river of my blessing flowing cleanly and swiftly through your life. Do not hoard the treasures I bestow on you. When I tell you to mentor that struggling younger coworker, do it with immense joy and profound patience. I elevate you not to put down your brother or sister, but to show you how to lend a hand to those who have stumbled. Base every single decision of your new life on my solid, unchanging words. The world will try to tempt you with flashy shortcuts, unethical business deals, and compromises disguised as great opportunities. Do not be lured by worldly desires that can make your heart hard. They are like shifting sands that can trap you and lead to failure. Stand firm against the grain. Let your absolute integrity be the hallmark of your leadership. When you build your massive success on the solid rock of my truth, absolutely no economic downturn, no sudden market crash, and no corporate restructuring can ever tear it down. Anchor your life on the solid foundation of Christ. Walk with deep, quiet humility. I am trusting you with the heavy weight of my glory. Carry it well, my child. Listen to my daily instruction, and let my divine wisdom steer every single step of your beautiful new journey. You are stepping into a massive overflow, and the greatest wisdom I can give you is to keep the river of my blessing moving swiftly through your hands. I elevated you to the front of the line so that you could build a longer table to feed my starving children. Your generous gift today becomes the very bread of life for a desperate soul who is crying out for hope in the middle of their darkest night. Cast your bread upon these flowing waters, and I promise you will find it multiplied when you need it most. I say to you now, honor the Lord with your wealth and with the first fruits of all your produce, and your barns will be filled with absolute plenty. Because you choose to be a wise steward of this first-place position, I will lavish you with bountiful blessings. Act with fierce obedience in this final minute. Support this word through a super thanks, the PayPal link, or a membership, and firmly secure your total abundance. My beloved, hold your ground and keep your ears firmly tuned to my voice. If you pull away from this intimate conversation now, it deeply disappoints the Father who has carefully set up this massive feast of blessings just for you. You have prayed for this breakthrough for years, and now you must stay to receive the full instruction. Listen to what I am saying. Do not break our connection, because missing the end of this message means missing the exact wisdom you need to protect your plentiful harvest. Prepare your mind and your body for a total, sweeping overflow in absolutely every single area of your existence. I do not deal in half measures, my child. I am not going to fix your finances while leaving your physical body in exhausting pain. I am not going to heal your marriage while leaving your mind trapped in a dark cage of anxiety. My burning desire for you is complete, absolute wholeness. I want your spirit, your soul, and your physical body to thrive simultaneously. I am the ultimate remedy for all your ailments, those that harshly afflict your body and those that attack your emotions like venomous blades. Right now, I am washing away the toxic stress that has kept your blood pressure dangerously high and your muscles tightly coiled. I am giving you the profound health of a quiet, settled mind as you step forward into the bright light. Watch carefully as I orchestrate a massive financial breakthrough that goes far beyond simply paying off your overdue credit cards. I am giving you the kind of explosive, wealth-generating ideas that will bless the nations. I will elevate you and eliminate all lack and need from your life. I am handing you the creative strategies to start successful businesses, to fund powerful ministries, and to leave a heavy, golden inheritance for your children's children. You are moving from a state of constant panic at the grocery store checkout line to a state of radical, joyful generosity. The dark days of calculating whether you have enough money to buy basic necessities are completely, permanently over. I am filling your storehouses until they practically burst open. I am lavishing you with bountiful blessings. But I am also bringing my deep healing fire to your heavily fractured relationships. I know the silent agony of a house where people live under the exact same roof but feel thousands of miles apart. I see the painful, icy distance between you and the people you desperately love the most. I am melting the thick ice today. I am giving you the perfect words to speak to mend those heavily bruised hearts. You will see your family come together again and meet new people who mean well. The harsh arguments that used to ruin your evenings will be replaced by the beautiful, ringing sound of genuine laughter in your living room. I am fully restoring the sweet, warm intimacy that the enemy tried to permanently destroy. Open your chest and receive the deep, heavy peace that completely bypasses all human logic and understanding. When the world watches the news and panics about the future, you will sit on your couch with a calm, steady heartbeat. Let my serenity enter your heart, dispelling all fears and doubts. This profound peace is not the absence of external storms. It is the unshakable presence of my power right in the middle of your boat. I am crowding out your lack with my overwhelming abundance. There is simply no room left in your life for depression, poverty, or sickness, because my vibrant life is taking up every single inch of space. Embrace this total, encompassing wholeness. Breathe deeply. Your cup is not just full, it is spilling over onto the floor, and the beautiful flood of my grace is sweeping you into a breathtaking new reality. Open your mouth right now and prepare to tell the entire world exactly what I have done for you. I know you feel a tight, heavy knot of fear in your stomach when you think about speaking up. You look at your past, the unpaid bills, the humiliating divorce, the public failures, the wayward children, and you feel a deep, burning shame. You think your story is too messy to share. But I tell you today that your messy story is the exact tool I am going to use to ignite a massive fire of faith in others. Through your story and your message, many will learn about me. Do not hide the scars of your past, because those scars are the absolute proof of my healing power. I am calling you to be a brilliant, burning light in a dark, exhausted, and weary world. When people look at you, they will not see your past mistakes. They will see my supernatural grace. They will see how I took a life that was completely shattered and rebuilt it into a stunning masterpiece. Step forward confidently and share the rich bread of life from your massive surplus. You are no longer begging for crumbs. You are managing a bakery of blessings. I want you to look around at your coworkers, your neighbors, and your extended family members. Many of them are secretly trapped in the exact same cold, dark cellar of anxiety that you just walked out of. They cannot see a thing, and they are shivering with intense fear. Your testimony is the warm, bright light that will guide them safely to the exit. Understand the profound, unstoppable ripple effect of one single person being placed first in line. When I bless you, I am setting off a chain reaction that will touch hundreds of lives. Your victory validates my eternal word through your actual, lived experience. You will look them directly in the eye and say, I was bankrupt, I was depressed, I was completely out of options, but God stepped in and rescued me. Do not let the enemy silence your voice with the toxic lie of unworthiness. You are like a Ferrari driving with the handbrake on when you keep your testimony hidden. Release the handbrake today. Speak boldly about my goodness. Tell the single mother that I am her ultimate provider. Tell the struggling businessman that I am the supreme CEO. Tell the broken-hearted teenager that I am the greatest healer. Your words will carry a heavy, divine weight that completely shatters the thick chains of doubt in their minds. You are stepping onto a brand new stage, and I am personally handing you the microphone. Do not be timid or shy. Do not water down the miracle just to make insecure people feel comfortable around you. Tell the whole, breathtaking truth. Let them see the stark, beautiful contrast between your dark yesterday and your blazing, victorious today. You are my living, breathing evidence that absolutely nothing is impossible for those who believe in me. When you share your story, you are handing a lifeline to a drowning soul. I am giving you the exact words to say, the perfect timing to say them, and the bold courage to speak without stuttering. Your pain had a profound purpose, and now your triumph will have a massive, global impact. Fortify your spirit right now for the heavy, magnificent weight of my glory. I see how physically and emotionally exhausted you are as you step into this new season. I know you want to hit the snooze button on your prayer life because the brutal demands of your new promotion, your daily commute, and your growing family are stretching you incredibly thin. But I command you to wake up and strengthen your inner man. The massive blessing I am handing you requires a spiritual foundation made of solid, unbreakable steel. You cannot carry $1 million destiny with a 10-cent prayer life. You must build a daily routine of deep, unbreakable intimacy with me. Find that quiet space in your house before the sun comes up, before the emails start pinging, before the kids start crying. Meet me there. In my presence you'll always find tranquility, contentment, and the joy you seek. Cast off every single heavy weight that easily besets you. I am talking directly about the toxic habits you use to numb your daily stress. I am talking about the hours you waste blindly scrolling on your phone, constantly comparing your real, beautiful life to the fake, filtered lives of absolute strangers. I am talking about the junk food you eat to aggressively comfort your anxiety, and the negative, complaining conversations you entertain with miserable coworkers by the water cooler. Drop those heavy, useless weights right now. They are severely slowing you down. They are clouding your sharp, spiritual vision. You are an elite spiritual athlete entering the final stretch of the race, and you must aggressively strip away absolutely everything that drains your precious energy. Look directly unto Jesus, the supreme author and the perfect finisher of your faith. When you keep your eyes completely locked on my Son, the terrifying distractions of the world completely lose their power over your mind. Embrace the profound internal shift that must happen before you experience the final external lift. I am doing a deep, intense surgery on your character right now. I am removing the fragile, sensitive ego that gets easily offended when someone criticizes your work. I am cutting out the deep-seated need for human approval that turns you into an exhausted people-pleaser. I am replacing those massive weaknesses with the bold, roaring courage of a lion. You will feel like you're soaring high like an eagle climbing to great heights of faith. Do not resist this intense internal growth. It is highly uncomfortable to stretch, but it is absolutely, entirely necessary for your survival. You are stepping into high-level rooms where the pressure will be intense, where the financial decisions will be massive, and where the enemy will aggressively try to intimidate you. But because you have deeply strengthened your inner man in the quiet, secret place, you will stand tall and completely unshaken. Rely on me. Draw your strength deeply from my endless well, and watch how effortlessly you carry the heavy, beautiful crown I am placing directly on your head today. Rest your exhausted mind in the absolute, concrete fact that I have already won the battle for you. Stop running on the endless, exhausting treadmill of human striving. I know exactly how you operate. You wake up at 2 in the morning with a racing heart and shallow breath, mentally checking your bank balance, replaying old arguments in your head, and trying desperately to control every single decision your family members make. You carry a heavy, invisible backpack filled with the crushing pressure of trying to fix everything yourself. Take that heavy backpack off right now. Drop it completely at my feet. I did not create you to be the savior of your family, the savior of your company, or the savior of the world. I am the savior. Let go of the desperate, agonizing toiling. Let go of the toxic, arrogant belief that if you do not actively worry about a problem, it will never get solved. Anchor your entire life on the finished, perfect work of the cross. When my son cried out, "It is finished," he meant your financial struggles, your emotional torment, your physical sickness, and your generational curses were completely handled. Why are you still frantically fighting a war that ended over 2,000 years ago? Trust my absolute sovereignty over the tiny, frustrating details of your Tuesday afternoons. When the building contractor delays the project, when the important client cancels the meeting, when the car breaks down on the highway, do not fall into a blind, screaming panic. Do not let these small, temporary inconveniences steal your profound, heavenly peace. I am intentionally orchestrating every single delay to completely protect you from unseen accidents and to perfectly align you with massive, hidden opportunities. Your life and your blessings depend solely on me. Breathe in the pure, calm atmosphere of my kingdom right now. Walk into your office tomorrow morning with the quiet, unshakable confidence of a deeply loved, highly favored child of God. You do not need to shout loudly to be heard in the boardroom. Your calm, steady presence will command massive respect. When utter chaos erupts in society, when the news channels scream endlessly about economic collapse and global disaster, you will not be disturbed. You will sit in your living room, sip your tea, and smile confidently, knowing that your Heavenly Father owns the entire world and everything in it. The profound peace I give you is not a fragile, temporary feeling that disappears when you get a bad phone call. It is a heavy, solid iron anchor that keeps your boat perfectly still in the exact center of a raging hurricane. Receive this deep, healing rest today. Stop fighting the wind, stop striving against the current, and completely surrender to the beautiful, relaxing reality that I have already secured your absolute victory. You are completely safe. You are fully provided for, and your future is flawlessly planned. Look closely at the beautiful faces of your sleeping children, or think deeply about the generations that will follow you into the future. This massive, overwhelming blessing I am pouring out upon you today is so much bigger than just your personal comfort and your individual bank account. You are not just stepping into favor for yourself. You are setting a brand new, golden standard for your children's children. I know the dark, toxic traits that have been passed down through your bloodline for decades. You have personally witnessed the ugly, painful patterns of bitter divorce, the brutal, destroying grip of alcoholism, the quiet, heavy desperation of poverty, and the suffocating cloud of depression that haunted your grandparents and your parents. I am using you to violently snap those ugly chains in half today. You are the one I have chosen to completely change the entire family history. Leave a massive, unshakable inheritance of true faith and extreme favor. When your children grow up, they will not have to start from the absolute bottom of the barrel just like you did. They will stand firmly on your strong, victorious shoulders. They will inherit a clean, peaceful atmosphere in their homes because you did the exhausting, painful, terrifying work of breaking the generational curses today. Break the heavy, suffocating back of poverty for your entire lineage right now. You are moving your family name from the always struggling column into the abundantly blessed column permanently. I am giving you the deep wisdom to wisely invest your new wealth, the incredible patience to teach your children my laws, and the beautiful grace to show them what a healthy, loving, completely whole home actually looks like. Understand the eternal, staggering significance of this exact moment in your life. You are literally rewriting the spiritual DNA of your future descendants. 50 years from now, your great-grandchildren will sit around a table and talk about your bold, radical faith. They will proudly tell the story of how you stood completely firm in the middle of a terrifying financial storm and trusted your God to provide the miracle. Your fierce obedience today is buying their absolute freedom tomorrow. So when you feel bone-tired, when you want to give up and just settle for an average, mediocre life, think about the faces of those who are coming after you. You are aggressively fighting for their peace. You are fighting for their massive prosperity. Shield your offspring from harm's reach. Bar the entry of your home to ruin. Stand up tall, square your shoulders, and embrace this massive, generational responsibility with total joy. I have equipped you with every single spiritual tool you need to completely rewrite the story of your bloodline, permanently turning a long history of pain into a glorious legacy of extraordinary, divine triumph. You are rewriting the spiritual DNA of your entire bloodline, leaving a golden inheritance of unshakable faith and extreme favor. I invite you to seal this generational victory by planting a memorial seed that echoes into eternity. Every dollar you sow into this ministry actively rescues another family from the crushing, suffocating grip of darkness and despair. You are planting a majestic oak of righteousness today, and its deep roots will draw up living water for your children's children. Hear my voice decreeing over your home. The generous soul will be incredibly prosperous, and their descendants will be mighty on the earth. This is not a casual transaction. It is a sacred, divine covenant where your offering through super thanks, membership, or PayPal unlocks heaven's heavy floodgates over your household. Step into your magnificent legacy right this second. Click the PayPal link or the super thanks button below and release the generational overflow. We are so close to the finish line, my child. Do not abandon me in these final, critical moments. It would break my heart to see you walk away right before the absolute climax of your deliverance. I am breathing life directly into your circumstances, and I need your full, undivided attention. Never, never, never give up on this moment we are sharing together. I have reserved the most powerful, life-altering promise for the very end. Keep listening, because your immediate obedience right now unlocks the final, glorious door. Follow the steady, guiding pillar of my cloud by day and the bright, warm fire of my presence by night. I know you are standing at a massive, terrifying crossroads in your career and your personal life right now. You are holding a contract in your hands, staring at a life-altering decision, and you are absolutely terrified of making the wrong choice and completely ruining your future. You hear a million loud, conflicting voices violently telling you what you should do. Your logical friends tell you to play it safe and stay comfortable. Your internal anxiety tells you to run away and hide. I command you to completely mute all of those confusing, toxic voices immediately. Tune your spiritual ear directly to my divine frequency. Listen closely for my clear, gentle voice saying, "This is the exact way. Walk in it." I will provide you the insight to triumph in every endeavor, Avoid the tempting, flashy shortcuts that only lead to devastating, painful dead ends. The world will offer you an incredibly fast track to wealth that requires you to severely compromise your deep integrity. A highly toxic relationship will disguise itself as a beautiful rescue boat to save you from your loneliness. Do not take the bait. The enemy loves to offer you a cheap, plastic counterfeit right before I deliver the priceless, authentic diamond promise. Trust the flawless, supernatural GPS of the Holy Spirit living inside you. When you feel that sudden, unexplainable check in your spirit, the deep, quiet warning in your gut that something is just not right, obey it instantly. Do not try to rationalize away my divine warnings using human logic. And when you feel that sudden surge of perfect peace about a terrifying leap of faith, jump without any hesitation. Marvel at the absolute, stunning precision of my divine appointments in your daily life. I am actively arranging the entire universe so that you will be at the exact right place at the exact right time. You will accidentally bump into the CEO who holds the ultimate key to your massive promotion. You will randomly discover the absolute perfect house for your family just minutes before it goes on the public market. These are not lucky, random coincidences. These are the highly calculated, brilliant moves of your Heavenly Father. Welcome to the realm of the supernatural. Relinquish your desperate, exhausting need to navigate your own ship. Take your tight, sweaty hands off the steering wheel right now. Let me chart the perfect course through these dark, foggy waters of uncertainty. I know exactly where the hidden, dangerous rocks are, and I know exactly where the massive, buried treasure lies. Relax your tight grip, lean back, and totally enjoy the beautiful, exciting journey as I perfectly and safely navigate you straight into the absolute center of your massive destiny. Take off that heavy, dark coat of sadness right now, my child. You have worn the spirit of heaviness for far too long, and it is severely weighing you down. I see exactly how you wake up in the morning feeling already exhausted, dreading the demands of your job and the endless list of problems you have to solve. I see the quiet, tense dinners where no one in your family speaks because the unspoken tension is too thick to cut. Your home has felt like a quiet, lonely waiting room, filled with a heavy air of disappointment. Today, I am completely changing the atmosphere of your house. I am taking away your heavy garment of despair and I am wrapping you in a beautiful, vibrant garment of praise. I am bringing genuine, ringing laughter back into your living room. The days of crying yourself to sleep in the dark are permanently over. I want you to understand that true joy is not just a temporary, fleeting emotion. It is a massive, indestructible weapon. When you choose to be joyful in the middle of a difficult circumstance, you completely confuse the enemy. He expects you to break down, to complain, and to surrender under the crushing pressure of your unpaid bills and your career setbacks. But when you smile, when you lift your hands and praise me before you even see the physical provision, you completely destroy his power over your mind. Smile right now. Even if it feels strange, even if your circumstances have not fully shifted yet, let a smile cross your face. Feel the physical release of that simple action. Let my joy bubble up from deep within your stomach. I am inviting you to celebrate your absolute victory before it is fully visible to the human eye. Do not wait for the bank account to be full before you say thank you. Do not wait for the perfect job offer to arrive before you start celebrating your promotion. Step into the reality of my promise today. Think about David dancing with wild, abandoned joy before the Ark of the Covenant. He did not care who was watching. He did not care if he looked foolish to the cynical people around him. He knew the absolute magnitude of my presence and he responded with pure and unfiltered celebration. I want you to dance like that. I want you to celebrate the massive breakthrough I am bringing into your life with that exact same level of wild, unapologetic faith. The heavenly joy I am pouring into your spirit today is incredibly infectious. When you walk into your office tomorrow, your coworkers will immediately notice a profound difference in you. They will see a bright, unexplainable light in your eyes. The heavy, dark mood of your workplace will physically shift simply because you walked into the room carrying my absolute joy. Your children will feel the sudden release of tension in your home, and they will begin to laugh and play freely again. You are the thermostat for your environment. When you choose my joy, you set the temperature for everyone around you. Do not let the daily news, the negative gossip, or the temporary delay steal this beautiful gift from you. Your long season of mourning is completely finished. I am handing you the cup of absolute delight, and I want you to drink deeply until your heart completely overflows. Step away from the loud, distracting crowd right now, my beloved. I am calling you into a deeper, much more intimate level of consecration. I know the intense pressure you feel to simply fit in, to compromise your values just to survive the cutthroat environment at your job, or to lower your standards so that the people around you feel more comfortable. You watch others cut corners, gossip behind people's backs, and step on each other to get ahead, and you wonder if you have to play their toxic game to win. Hear my voice clearly. You do not play by their rules, because you are operating in my kingdom. I am setting you apart for my holy, specific use. The massive blessing I am preparing for you requires a clean, unbroken vessel. If you pour pure, fresh water into a dirty cup, the water becomes contaminated. I am carefully washing your cup right now so that you can safely carry the heavy, beautiful weight of my glory. Pursuing holiness is not about following a rigid, exhausting list of religious rules. It is about your deep, personal response to my overwhelming love. When you truly realize how much I cherish you, you will naturally want to protect our relationship from anything that causes distance between us. I am refining your character in the hot, brilliant fire of my grace. I am burning away the toxic habits that numb your pain, the cynical attitudes that poison your conversations, and the hidden pride that makes you incredibly defensive when someone offers you constructive advice. Do not fight this refining process. It is highly uncomfortable to let go of the coping mechanisms you have relied on for years, but I am replacing your fragile human defenses with my solid, unshakable armor. I am calling you to be a magnificent vessel of honor, perfectly fit for the Master's use. Look at your daily calendar and your daily habits. What are you consuming that is severely clouding your spiritual vision? Walk away from the conversations that drain your faith. Turn off the media that constantly feeds your deep anxiety and fear of the future. Set your mind on the solid, eternal truths of my word. There is an absolute, breathtaking beauty in a life that is completely, unconditionally surrendered to my will. When you stop fighting me for control of your destiny, you will finally experience the profound, deep rest your soul is desperately craving. We are in the final 2 minutes of your long countdown, and this is the exact moment to fiercely deepen your walk with me. Do not get sloppy right before the finish line. Do not let your guard down simply because the end of the struggle is finally in sight. Stay incredibly focused. Keep your eyes locked completely on me. The higher I elevate you in your career, your finances, and your family influence, the deeper your roots must grow in the secret place of prayer. You are entirely mine, my precious child. I have placed my permanent seal upon your heart. Honor the incredibly high calling I have placed upon your life, and walk forward with the quiet, pure dignity of someone who hath been personally chosen, perfectly cleansed, and deeply loved by the Creator of the universe. Take a deep breath and blow out every single ounce of anxiety you are holding in your chest right now. I know exactly what happens to your body when you think about the future. Your stomach ties itself into a tight, painful knot, your shoulders rise to your ears, and your mind immediately begins to play a terrifying movie of every single thing that could possibly go wrong. You have lived in a state of brutal survival for so long that your brain is permanently wired to expect absolute disaster. You look at the clock and you panic, believing that time is running out, that you are too old, too broke, or too broken to ever see a real change. Stop doing this to yourself immediately. I am completely rewiring your mind today. I am replacing your heavy, exhausting anxiety with a bright, eager anticipation. I have absolutely not given you a spirit of fear, cowardice, or paralyzing timidity. The fear that keeps you frozen in place, terrified to apply for that new job or step into that new relationship, does not come from me. I have given you a spirit of immense power, of deep, unconditional love, and of a sound, disciplined mind. Look at the clock on your wall right now. Do not look at it with a heavy frown or a sense of impending doom. Look at the clock with a massive smile on your face. Every single second that ticks by is not stealing your time. It is bringing you 1 second closer to the absolute manifestation of my promise. The countdown is not your enemy. The countdown is your greatest friend. I want you to have the incredible, fearless boldness to ask me for the absolute impossible. Stop asking me for just enough pennies to barely survive the week. Stop asking me to simply help you tolerate a miserable, dead-end situation. Ask me to completely part the Red Sea in front of you. Ask me to move the massive mountain that has blocked your family's progress for 3 generations. You are the child of the King, and you have unlimited, direct access to the vast vault of heaven. Do not shrink back when the final seconds of this long waiting period start to disappear. The enemy will scream his loudest threats right now, trying to convince you that the blessing is a trap, that you do not deserve it, or that it will be violently ripped away from you. Mute his lying voice immediately. Stand incredibly firm on your feet. Ground yourself in the absolute certainty of my character. I do not lie, I do not fail, and I do not abandon my children in the dark. You are standing on the very edge of the most beautiful, overwhelming chapter of your entire life. Do not cross the finish line looking backward at your painful history. Embrace the new with your arms thrown wide open. The promotion, the healing, the financial overflow, the mended relationships, they are rushing toward you at a supernatural speed. Let go of your desperate need to control the outcome. Trust that my massive, loving hands are guiding every single detail. Smile at your future, my beloved. It is so incredibly bright, and it is entirely secured by my unfailing grace. This is it, my precious child. The long, exhausting countdown has finally reached its end. The heavy, difficult years of wandering in the dry, lonely wilderness have officially expired. I know there is a part of you that is actually afraid to let go of the struggle, because the pain and the striving have become so deeply familiar to you. You have carried the heavy burden of survival for so many years that you do not know who you are without it. But I am asking you to set that heavy burden down right here, right now, in this exact second. You do not need it anymore. You are no longer the victim of your circumstances. You are no longer the forgotten employee, the rejected friend, or the anxious, overwhelmed parent. Hear my clear, booming voice echoing through the chambers of your heart. Now is the absolute time. I am personally opening the massive, iron doors that have kept you locked out of your destiny. Look straight ahead. The blinding, brilliant light of a brand new day is pouring into your life, completely scattering the dark shadows of your past failures, your unpaid bills, and your deep, silent regrets. Step completely into this light. Do not hesitate. Do not wait for someone else to give you permission to succeed, because you already have the absolute, divine authorization of the Creator of the universe. Embrace the absolute fullness of your massive destiny. I have handpicked you. I have thoroughly tested you in the fire, and I have found your faith to be incredibly pure and undeniably strong. You are officially first in line, and the banquet I have prepared for you is magnificent. We are completely wrapping up the old, painful chapter of your life. The book of your past struggles is being permanently closed and sealed. Today marks the beautiful, explosive birth of the new. The tears you cried in secret are turning into a public, undeniable harvest of massive wealth, perfect health, and deep, unshakable peace. Walk into your new office, walk into your restored home, and walk into your completely healed body with the quiet, supreme confidence of someone who knows exactly who their father is. You belong at the front of the line. You belong at the head of the table. I have orchestrated this entire, beautiful sequence of events specifically to bless you and to completely astound the people who doubted you. As you take this physical step forward into your new reality, receive my final, eternal blessing upon your life. I am wrapping my strong arms tightly around you. I am kissing your forehead and wiping away the very last tear of your difficult season. No matter how high you rise, no matter how much wealth or influence I entrust to your hands, always remember the ultimate source of your strength. You are never, ever alone. I am with you always, walking beside you in the bright sunlight, and guiding you safely through every single moment of your breathtaking new journey. Welcome to your beautiful promise, my deeply loved child. The wait is finally, entirely over. Step forward and completely possess the glorious land I have given to you. The long countdown is completely over. The iron doors are locked open, and you have finally crossed the threshold into your breathtaking promised land. Do not cross this glorious finish line empty-handed. Bring a joyful, heavy offering to the altar of your ultimate triumph. Your radical generosity right now ensures that the blinding light of this message continues to scatter the dark shadows for millions who are still waiting in the cold. Sow your heavy, golden seeds into this fertile ground, and watch as I send clouds laden with a special rain to water your massive, unending harvest. I declare over your life, bring the whole tithe into the storehouse, and see if I will not throw open the floodgates of heaven to pour out so much blessing that there will not be room enough to store it. As you give through a super thanks, a membership, or the PayPal link today, I will multiply your resources so rapidly that your cup will physically spill over onto the floor. Do not wait another second to seal your victory. Click the link in the description now, plant your bold seed, and fully possess your glorious land. Amen.